Why he walking don't move his arms? You hear me? Why he don't move his arms when he walk?
I know, right?
Yeah, he just walk with his arms down to the side.
Damn, Gary, there's some size to you, brother.
Yeah, he ain't little.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
DB or receiver?
I'd probably be a DB. I don't want to get hit.
A DB. You know what they say about white DBs. You sure you want to?
They're
A couple
balling.
of us going to the Pro Bowl this year.
Balling right now.
Right now. Yeah, they bringing them back. So you would have done that.
Probably. I would have been like Scott Case with the Falcons.
But Scott Case, but he hit though. Like hitting hurts too though.
Yeah, I'll be hitting. I'll be hitting.
That's the hardest thing to do, tackling, man.
I know. I probably hit. I get fined a lot.
Like him.
Because
Ain't no
he
wrong
was
with
just
that.
run the safety. He was just trying to run the safety off. I go, yeah, he deserved to get hit.
Yeah, that's how I did it. Owen, welcome to the show. Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, Ryan Clark. This is The Pivot. I'm excited about doing this, man. It's one of those things is you see people from the outside and who they are based on their careers and their jobs, and you see things through social media, but to get to have the conversations for us is always enlightening. I do have a quick question before we really, really start. What the hell is being black famous?
Oh, that's when, it's like if you're at the airport, all the black people stop me. And then the white people look like, who's he play for? They're trying to figure it out, you know? Yeah. So it's when I'm out, like anywhere, Starbucks, anywhere, like I get stopped by 90% of the black people. And then the white people are trying to figure it out. And black people, when they know you, they're loud. They're like, I ain't trying to blow your spot up. White people know me, it's a secret. They'll come up and be like, I know who you are. I know. So like they're in on it.
Hey, I don't want to get you a lot of attention, but can you take 17 pictures with me? Man,
Yeah,
bitch,
right.
you just got a lot of attention.
I know,
That's
right?
what it was.
Yeah.
But to that point, did we choose you or did you choose us?
I think it was mutual. I think it was mutual. Well, you know what it is? It's like when I first moved to LA, you're just trying to get on TV, and I won this contest in San Diego. It was the funniest black comedian in San Diego contest. And I won it, and it was just a radio call-in. There was a hip-hop station called Z90, and I was in my truck, and I was driving. I was in the military, and they said, we're looking for the funniest black comedian in San Diego. So you had to call in. So I pulled over, wrote the number down. I'm showing my age, because there's 4 cell phones. And then called in. I didn't say I was black or wasn't black, but I did put some bass in my voice. I was like, hey, is this a contest? Yeah, I want to enter that shit. All right, yeah. What's that? All right. And then they go, what's your name? I go, Gary. That's when I turned white. There's no bass in Gary. So I entered, I won the contest, and that got me, the first prize was an audition for Comic View. And so my first TV appearance was on BET. Like I said, if I knew Spanish, I would have went on Telemundo. But I didn't, so I got on BET, and then I became the host. And then, for some reason, every movie I was in had black lead actors. You know, my first movie was Jamie Foxx called Held Up. And then I did Daddy Daycare with Eddie Murphy. Those are my first 2 films. And then, of course, later on down the line, I got Little Man and Think Like a Man and Ride Along. It's just always had, for some reason, the black producers call, you know, and I don't have to jump through hoops.
So you've been the token in a lot of black movies.
I don't know if you would call them black movies. It's just I had an in to get in those black movies, you know? Like when I did Little Man, it was like, yeah, I had to audition, but it was kind of like, you know, Keenan kind of wants you, but he wants to make sure you can act too. So I still had to audition, but it was almost like a wink, wink, like, you know the director. Right. So it helps. Nepotism isn't dead in this world. That's why I try to tell comedians, there's a lot of beef going on right now with comedians. Yeah. And I'm more like, I'm trying to be Switzerland. I'm trying to get along with everybody because the same person you're going in on because you're frustrated for whatever reason might be the same person that's bringing your name up behind closed doors, and now you're getting scratched off. So I try to be cool with everybody.
We'll get back to the comedian beef, I'm sure. Andrew Schultz, I'm not sure if he's gonna get invited to any black cookouts with those comments he's been making, but you will. The question is this, what you bringing to the cookout?
Oh, water. Yeah. I'm not that bold. You guys, what do you want? You want Dasani or you want Aquafina? That's what I'm bringing.
Bring no Dasani.
I'm not, yeah, those are both nasty waters, isn't it?
Fred mentioned that, though, in Kendrick's song when he says, you know, never let a white comedian talk about black women, that's law. You actually posted like, hey, wait, he might be talking about me.
I kind of knew he wasn't. I said, let me just get a little run out of this, you know? Get a little beef going. Everything to me is fun. Like, social media is just fun. I'm not personal with it. I'm not trying to be malicious with anything. So when I saw that line, I go, well, that makes me a criminal then. Shoot, I've been talking about black women most of my career. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't go at it like, and even, you know, people are so funny, like the hip hop heads and the younger people that don't know me like that. They just be like, he wasn't even talking about you, dog. You know, when you stepping into a beef, it's gonna hit your pockets. I go, dude, stop. You were never gonna come see me anyways. Let's slow down. My audience is not 18-year-old black dudes from Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Stop.
So Andrew Schultz made those comments, you know, a few months ago about the black girlfriend experience. And there's a lot of negativity surrounded it from our communities, our cultures. And then even after Kendrick comes out with the song, he does another bit or another show with some other comedians, and they're basically like, you know, saying all the things Kendrick didn't do to protect black women from the black community. And they're making jokes about it. And then now he's taking it another step further and saying, hey, look, I'll have Kendrick's feet dangling. Right. From a comedian standpoint, what makes you draw that line when you feel like things have gone too far?
My thing is always your intent. Is there malicious intent behind it? And you got to, with Andrew, you know, he's feeding his fan base. So as many people are upset, there's that many more people that are probably going to go buy tickets because of it. So he's really, he's not losing ticket sales off of it. He's probably gaining, honestly. It's. I don't want to compare him to Trump, but Trump feeds his fan base. He gives them what they want. And that's what Andrew's doing. And that's kind of his brand, is to shock people and to say these off-color things. And it's almost like he's giving the middle finger to cancel culture and political correctness. And that's worked for him. My thing is with comedians, I don't have to agree with everything you say, but I'm gonna defend your right to say it. You know, you gotta realize if you want to go that route, there could be consequences, and you gotta be prepared for it. So, you know, with me, I've been told numerous times, like, I'm allowed to say the N-word. I would never say the N-word, you know, on stage like that. And now, even though I said on stage, now people are gonna be like, what does that mean, you gonna say it in personal life? I go, yeah. When I'm by myself in the car and the song comes on, I sing it. But now when there's anybody in the car with me, I'm not gonna sing it, but by myself, I'm gonna sing it. You know, by myself. And I'm still gonna look both ways.
Do you have some governors in your life where you might have one joke and you'd be like, man, let me call Lamont. Or let me call DeAndre. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Let me call my black friends to see if I've gone too far with this.
Nah, I've been really, I got a good internal like instinct that, okay, you can push the envelope, but don't push it too far. You know, I'm not trying to bite the hand that feeds me. I would never say the things Andrew was saying just because I know who my core fans are. And it's, a lot of them are black women. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not that, and black women buy tickets. I don't know about black dudes will come to my show because black women are there. You know what I mean? I ain't really messing with Gary, but man, there's some hoes there. There's some hoes at Gary Owen show. I'm gonna go check that out.
You grew up in Ohio in a trailer park.
Yep.
How did that shape your sense of humor and your overview of the worldview?
The trailer park didn't do much. I mean, you're not going anywhere, you know, and you're kind of dealing with a lot of like-minded people who's never left. So there's a very small outlook on the world. So the best thing I ever did was join the Navy right out of high school. So because it let me know, I was like, whoa, I don't know anything. Because I remember my first week in boot camp, my bunkmate was a black dude from South Carolina. His name was Copera Washington. I'll never forget it. And I got the first week, he had pictures mailed from home, and he was like on a John Deere tractor. I was like, were you on vacation or something? He was like, nah, man, this is where we live. I said, black people don't live on farms. And he goes, what? He called this brother from Mississippi, this brother from Alabama, this brother from Arkansas. He goes, Owen, just tell him what you just said. I go, black people don't live on farms. And he was like, they did like the Spike Lee movie. They was like, this dude, all the black guys put their hands up. We all live on farms. I go, what? In the Midwest, black people live in the city. They don't live in the country. Yeah. I had no idea Black people knew about baling hay, all that. So I had no clue because where I grew up. I worked on farms in the summertime to make some money. You know, I worked on a strawberry farm. I was picking strawberries. I was a beast. I had the elbow pads and the knee pads because you can't go high. You got to crawl. And we got paid 35 cents a quart. And then you got these bins, and there's 8 quarts fit in a bin. So I could do 2 bins. That's 32 quarts an hour. That's like $11 an hour. At my age back then, dude, balling. In a trailer park? Shoot, I was killing the whatchamacallits and scores. Straight to the convenience store and buying that.
What are the traumas of being as you said, quote unquote, homecoming baby? Actually explain what a homecoming baby is.
Oh, that's when you do the math. My birthday's July 26th. So my mom was 17 when she had me, or 18, 17 or 18. So I did the math. I was like, oh, that was homecoming. I was conceived in October. And then my dad confirmed it a few years later down in life. He goes, yeah. And I think it was the back of a car. I think it was Coleraine High School parking lot. So I don't know. I don't know. Every time I get in a Chevy, I start itching.
Bro, so you are obviously extremely unserious. What was life in the Navy like for you?
Well, it was funny. My first 2 years, I was in the Presidential Honor Guard, where you're not allowed to smile. So I was doing parades. We were the ones that spun the rifles, doing funerals at Arlington, that type of. So my nickname was Smiley, because what it is when you're in the Presidential Honor Guard, they got this thing when you first get to DC. It's 2 months. It's called training platoon, and you basically live in the attic of this building, and you get to go on the weekends, but your days are rough. That was rougher than boot camp. And then what it is, it's called you guard out. So once you're ready to graduate from into the honor guard, they put you through this whole thing where you're marching and the guys are it's like out of a movie. They're throwing baby powder and tomatoes at you, and they're heckling you, and you're really getting jacked up a little bit. But once you graduate, you get a jacket, and it's got the seal on it, and it's got U.S. Navy Presidential Honor Guard on the back, and then you get a nickname, and my nickname was Smiley because I was always smiling. My natural face is, you know what I mean? So I'd always get, and that doesn't work at funerals.
Right.
It's I was the first one to get in trouble at boot camp. Boot camp, right off the bat, 3 a.m. I've never been anywhere in my life. I'm down there in Orlando, and the guy just throws a garbage can down, and he's cussing you out. And what's called company commander, it's a drill instructor for the Army and Marines. He walks by and I yawn. And I remember I didn't even realize it. He just walked by and I was like, and he looked, he goes, am I boring you? And I didn't know you're supposed to yell. I go, no. He goes, I can't hear you. I go, no. So then he goes, everything starts and ends with sir. And I go, sir, no, sir. So I had to walk around the first day of boot camp with my mouth open because I yawned. And that doesn't seem like a lot. Try to walk around for an hour like this.
Mouth dry as hell.
Dude, and then your jaw locks up.
Yeah.
I don't know how hookers do it. I'm I tell you, my first morning in boot camp was, I knew I had something. I knew I had something with black people. I knew I had something with this funny stuff because we're in line for breakfast and my mouth's open. And then there was a brother that was one of the cooks. He told my company commander, he goes, I want my eggs over easy. And the guy goes, how easy? And he goes, easy as Owens' girlfriend. And then the guy goes, how easy is Owens' girlfriend? And I just chimed in, I go, easy like Sunday morning, sir. And that's the first time I saw everybody break. The chef broke, my company commander went, what? And I was like, oh, I got something here. I got something. He kind of liked me after that. My company commander kind of lightened up. Yeah. And every day I'd see that same chef in boot camp, he'd become easy like Sunday morning. Every day in boot camp, easy like Sunday morning, how you want your eggs?
You were just trying to figure it out from a kid.
I was 17. I went to boot camp when I was 17. I never been anywhere. So I was just trying to figure life out.
Yeah, and coming from the trailer park, then picking strawberries, then going to one, I guess, military place to move to another. You were really just trying to work through life, not knowing where the inroad was.
And I had no preconceived notion about people. I never was one to stereotype people. I hate when people say they don't see color. Of course you see color. I'm just not gonna judge you because of it. When I met Fred, he had gold fronts and he was at U of F, and I don't even remember this. We was in some hood apartment building. It was ghetto, because I don't know, it was Plaxico Burress was there. Javon Curse was there. It was so ghetto.
Hawaiian,
and I had
Hawaiian Village.
Yeah, I had no clue. I'm just blended in. You guys playing dominoes? I'm not playing, but I'll watch. You know? That was before Plaxico got drafted. He was at Michigan State, and he could tell me he was about to get drafted. And then you came up, you had the gold fronts, and Javon put his arm around me. He had those big ass hands. Like he came in like E.T. What's up, man? And then Plaxico was so funny because he came up, he goes, yo, Gary, man. He goes, all these girls are talking to you, man. Help me get some hoes. I was like, all right. So, you know, he's like 20, 21. I'm young. I call this couple of girls over. I go, come here. I go, this is my boy Plaxico. I go, he plays football at Michigan State. They go, Plaxico? What kind of name is that? I go, it's Arabic for big black motherfucker. Yo, all I know, the rest of the night, they was talking to him. I don't know what I remember that, but they was straight talking to him. I go, I did my job, bro.
Slim Plex.
Yeah, and then it bothered me because, you know, I'm a diehard Bengals fan. And for the longest, I'm supposed to hate the Steelers, but everybody I started hanging out with would go to the Steelers. I go, this is starting to bother me. I meet Plaxico because you're drafted by the Steelers. You know, I started charity in Memphis, Tennessee with D'Angelo Williams. He goes to goddamn Steelers. Yeah. I met Mike Logan, the old safety. Yeah. He was with Jacksonville. Yep. And then he came up to me at a club in Atlanta. What's up, man? Mike Logan, Jacksonville Jaguars. I go, Gary Owen. What, am I supposed to say BET Comic View? Why are you getting your whole stats? He gets traded to the Steelers. I'm like, why do these guys keep going to the Steelers? It's starting to bother me.
Logan was from Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, you had a run-in with Ben Roethlisberger girlfriend, too, huh?
Ben's the one that bothers me the most, because when he came out of Miami of Ohio, that's where I grew up, outside of Cincinnati. And I was rooting for him, man, because, you know, I got a soft spot for MAC players. And then, so, especially Miami of Ohio, because not a ton come out of there. And I kid you not. So must have been his sophomore year, because I think he came out after his junior year. So nobody really knew who he was. And there was this nightclub in Oxford. I think at that time it was called Brick Street. Everybody used to go there. All the ball players used to go there. All the Miami of Ohio guys go there. And I'm trying to talk to this sister. There's not a lot of black girls in Oxford. So if I see one, I'm locked. You know? So I'm focused. So I'm trying to talk to her the whole night. And she's cool. Like, then now everybody's outside. And I'm playing the dozens with like the wide receivers and everybody. And then the girl, she finally comes back out. I say, hey, let me get your number. And she goes, my boyfriend's a quarterback. I go, like, he's going pro. Give me the cell. You're dating a high school football coach right now. He's going to be at Home Depot next year. I didn't know.
Turned out it's Ben Roethlisberger.
I didn't turn out Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah. So, newsflash, Ben Roethlisberger had a black girlfriend sophomore year of college. He can have a little John Deere endorsement if he wants. I know the real Ben. He had the cut. He had the mid-fade. He
wore walkers.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's the Ben I remember. And I was so hyped when he came out. I go, oh, niggas of Pittsburgh. I go, oh, you gotta be shit. You got it. Why do these guys keep going to Steelers?
When did your love for dark chocolate sort of kind of, when did that come into existence? Was it always in you, or just kind of?
That was birth. It's like being gay. Like, gay guys know they're gay. They don't know why they're gay. That's just their DNA. I'm the same way from early age. I remember watching TV, like Janet Jackson on Different Strokes, and then Thelma on Good Times, and Tootie.
Janet Jackson was actually on Good Times.
She was on Good Times, too.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the teenage Janet Jackson when she had the training bra. She was dating Willis. That's the one I was talking about. Like, I don't know. I always, like, even like in high school, I went to a predominantly white high school, but we would play black high schools. And man, our team would be like really nervous. When you don't have a lot of black guys on your team and then you start playing black high schools, I don't think people put enough, black people don't realize how nervous we get as white schools. It's a lot, you know, because you're thinking everything you see on TV. You're like, oh my God, Minister Society's coming. It's nerve-wracking, man. We had a guy, so we had this one school, Withrow High School in Cincinnati. So we had a little window on in our locker room so we could see when the buses pull up. And that goddamn Withrow pulled up like 3 buses and there's nothing but black people on it. And one guy, he goes, they're here. And you got half the white guys are like this, they're like, oh, and the other half like, we're gonna show them. We're gonna show them. White boys, we athletic too. But I used to go excited because I knew they were bringing cheerleaders. I could not stretch, bro. My arm circles were so messed up. I've been playing hard against the black schools. I always play good against black schools. I'm trying to show out.
Trying to get some numbers.
Yeah.
So who was Cindy Crawford, Jane Fonda? What was her name?
Done nothing.
They did nothing for you back in the day. That was
Nothing.
like the little sex symbols you on the L'Oreal
Nothing.
commercials. Nothing.
They might as well have penises. They did nothing for
They
me,
was
bro.
pretty, so you like the ass.
I love
You
ass.
like the way that thing sit up.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Man, don't get me going.
Did your white buddies understand it?
Yeah. They always knew. They looked out. Hey, back over there. Because even when you're in San Diego, you're in the military, you go through these different areas where you hang out. So for a long time, I was going to Pacific Beach. There's a lot of white people down there. But if a black girl was at one of them, they bring her to me. They'd be like, Gary. You're like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Yo, Queen has arrived. And it was crazy because I'd always talk to them and always get their number. But it was reciprocal. It was crazy. Like, the black girls were always receptive to me talking to them. And I don't know, I never really tried to talk to white girls like that. Just I didn't put no effort, and I don't know. Nothing against them.
The game is different.
Yeah, it definitely is a different game with the system.
Yeah. 'Cause both sides. Because I went to the private school, but I was in the hood, started playing ball, and then got shipped out to the nicer side of town in Atlanta. Yeah. And I didn't know how to talk to white girls.
Yeah, I think I'm like that too. I don't know. What do you say? Well, I Taylor Swift. The number she's putting up right now.
I don't know how many content.
I want to just be, hey, ski.
Hey, and they actually know exactly what that means too, though.
I know.
That's a direct communication. Everybody on the same page right after that. We ain't got to really talk about much more.
And I'm all about the quote unquote culture. Like I said, when I met Fred with the gold fronts, I was in the apartments, whatever those apartment buildings was.
In the trenches.
I was in those. When I used to go to Pittsburgh, I was at Arts, getting those good ass wings. You know what I mean? If I'm in Atlanta, you already know where I'm at.
Shake spot.
Come on now.
I'm Magic.
Oof. I ain't Lou Williams. I wasn't going for the wings.
The wings are a side note.
They would have busted me in the NBA. Why'd you go? That ass. We've been locked down for 3 months. What do you think? Wings?
I'm not hungry.
Hey,
Right.
Lou will say F the bubble.
Yeah, I'm vegan.
So you mentioned earlier that your fan base is heavy black women. You obviously have a love for black women. Once you publicly admitted why your marriage ended, what was that reaction like to you? Because I have seen in social media when people would attack you about something that may feel that a white person isn't supposed to speak on, black women would defend you and be like, well, he treats his black woman better than all y'all treat y'all black women. So once that comes out that, the reason your marriage ended, was the reaction to you different?
The reason it ended, because I wanted the divorce. Gotcha. But I wasn't faithful either. And I think as a guy, man, you're trying to hide that because you're so worried about your past catching up with you. And you're hiding. And when the divorce got announced on TMZ and everything, I was more, I stayed quiet for a long time because my lawyers was like, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Don't respond because anything you say or post can come up in court. So I was being real quiet. And then once we got jurisdiction down and once the divorce we were being civil and we went to mediation, then I started speaking about it. But yeah, like I think I was a decent dad. I wasn't the best husband. Mm-hmm. The passion left the marriage. When that happens, selfishly, I stayed in it for the kids, and that's not fair to her. So yeah, that was rough. But we're civil now. We're cool. She's not tripping. We actually laugh about some of the stuff I used to do. That was so ridiculous. You know what I mean? But I was. You gotta realize I'm young. I never saw a functional household, so to speak. And then I got a lot of shit I'm trying to deal with. She had a lot of shit she was trying to deal with. So you had two damaged people that got married that I think are good people at the core. We were both just like trying to figure it out. And then you have kids, so you want to put them first. But yeah, if I look back on it, I should have ended it sooner because I knew I wasn't ready just to be with one person like that.
Did the fame hurt it?
Oh, the fame doesn't help because you're accessible. You're tapped in socially. You're getting attention from people you probably wouldn't. Like if I'm a plumber, it's a lot easier to be faithful.
Wow.
You know what I mean? If I work for UPS, it's a lot. But my line of work, you're in the mix every city. And people are trying, they're paying you to go to nightclubs. You know what I mean? Hey, we'll give you this money, come down. Then you go and you got the best intentions. But man, that ass, man. Fuck. I'm a different kind of crackhead.
But even in your divorce, a lot of times comedy comes from like pain, challenges, life experiences, all that different stuff, and you're able to sort of create an amazing set. Do you find it cathartic that you're able to share those experiences through humor?
Oh yeah, that's the best line of therapy, is just to get on stage, and then you realize like there's a lot of, you're not the only one going through it, because I think what told me about the difference between the internet and real life, more than anything, that hit like a brick was, so the TMZ shit comes out, and I'm on the run from a process server. I'm hiding out. I didn't go on stage for like 2 weeks, so I'm literally hiding out at the Four Seasons in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm under Mohammed Shabazz, is my hotel name, right? I'm hiding, and all I'm doing all day is reading the internet. I'm reading, every day something new comes out. I'm like, God dang. And then you're hearing all the negative comments, right? And then I go on stage after 2 weeks, and I'm on stage about 45 minutes, and I'm not letting people in, but I'm dabbling in the divorce a little bit. And there's one lady in the back, she just yelled out, "I love you, little cheating ass." And I go, you don't know how bad I had to hear that. Like, I just had to hear it, like, oh, you're not alone. Your fans still love you. They just want to know you're human.
Right.
You know, and it's a shared experience. Like, I'm not the first guy to get a divorce. I'm not the first guy to go through a public divorce. Like, so many guys called me. It was a male bonding experience, if I'm being honest. Like, people that, like, Anthony Anderson, Kevin, Shaq, guys that went through a divorce, they just called to check up, and then we just talked about, like, what they went through. You know, you're going to be all right. And I think, was it Anthony? It was Anthony or Shaq they said, no matter what happens in your divorce, and you're so worried about, you think you're gonna go broke, because you hear about all these horror stories, they just said, listen, your talent is not gonna allow you to go broke. Just remember that. And I needed to hear that. So I was like, oh yeah. That's when I was ready to settle afterwards. I was like, and they all said, try to settle, man, because can't get back to time. Just get over it so you can start the healing process. So that's really why I was like, when we went to mediation, I was like, what do you need? And if some people say I overpaid, I think a good divorce is when the man thinks he overpaid and the woman thinks she didn't get enough. That's a good divorce.
It's called compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I think I paid too much. And if you ask her, she probably says, I didn't get enough. And that's the compromise we came to.
Welcome to The Pivot. This is a safe space, and we are all therapists. So if you feel like, engaging and talking more about your life journeys, we're here to help you.
I appreciate that, Fred. I trust you now that you ain't got no gold fronts. I would have never trust you with gold teeth. Like, what?
The healing process is, I'm sure, a continued evolution. Austin got to meet the twins. Mm-hmm. How was that for you, for one of your babies, I call them babies, but for your son to have an opportunity to spend time with your new babies?
Yeah, that was awesome. So I didn't have contact with my kids for about 3 years, and then Austin, and everybody said, they go, just let them heal, let them figure it out. And it's tough because as a dad, you go from talking to them all the time to now you have no contact really. And so it was out of left field, man. I was in Philly, and it was so funny. My opener had met a girl on Tinder. He said, Gary, can you go to this bar with me? I said, for what? And he was like, yeah, I met this girl on Tinder. I got a feeling I'm getting catfish. I don't think she looks like she does in her profile, and I need somebody to get me out of there if it's not her. I said, all right. So we were getting ready to walk to the bar, and my son texts me. He goes, Dad, can we talk? I said, dude, I'm out. I said, you got to deal with this catfish on your own, because my son I ain't talked to him in 3 years. All of a sudden, so I went back to the hotel. I was calling him on the way. We talked. He needed my advice on something. he goes, I know we got a lot to unpack, man. He goes, but if you can help me through this situation, it was something with his job. He goes, I'm willing to sit down and talk now and everything and put everything, water under the bridge, and we'll get to getting back together. So that was like middle of September, and then I had shows in San Francisco, and he lives in the Bay Area now, and he came to see me and played pickleball and just spend the weekend together at my shows. And then Sunday came, I go, hey, you wanna go back to Houston with me tomorrow? And he was like, all right. So flew him back and got to meet the new twins, and it was just cool. He got to meet just everybody in my social circle now in Houston, and he just blended in. So now he's gonna come out and spend Christmas with us this year, and it's crazy. You don't talk for 3 years, and then you're like nothing. We're right back in the saddle where we were. My daughter is still a work in progress, but as far as him, it's been awesome. And I got the twins now, and he's got his favorite. Yeah, I like Rome, but Roy be crying too much.
My brother is he's going through a divorce now, and the hardest part for him, because they're at the point where they settled, they decided everything. He's struggling with his kids are slowly changing. Like, they were in his life, he was in their life every single day. I mean, everything, you see him, you see them, like nonstop. And now it's like, he believes that his ex-wife is sort of saying things behind the scene, and he's really struggling. His son is kind of, I'm afraid to be around you, and she won't encourage him to go see his dad, but my brother, like, he's really going through it. Yeah. And he calls me every day, man, what should I do? I'm like, let time take over. Yeah. And that 3 years, you didn't talk to your kids, and this is a question really for him, hoping that he can take something from your experience. What was it like not being able to speak to your child in 3 years, or your children? I can't imagine that.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, and my kids aren't really on social media. So I got no way to see pictures or videos or nothing, because it would have been much easier if I had social media kids that I could go to their page and look. I had nothing. When I saw my son, I didn't realize he filled out. Like, I was 18, we got divorced. Now I was 19 when I left, and now he's a grown man. He done filled out. He's ripped up and stuff. I was like this. Oh, when this happened? Now he's taller than me. But my family is a bunch of late bloomers. We bloom late, like 18, 19. But the only thing I would say, never put down the mother, because now you're in a back and forth. That's one thing I was very careful of. Like, you ain't gotta lie about who she is, but don't put her down, because then they're choosing sides. You know what I mean? And I will say, I know it's hard, and everybody told me this will happen. You just gotta almost fall back a lot. Because if you keep, it's almost like, for the longest I would text. I'd be like, love you, Merry Christmas, and I wouldn't get nothing back. And then you start to get pissed. Mm-hmm. So once I just said, and I don't know if this will work for your brother, but for me, I went cold turkey. I just was like, I got silent. And then the text came out of left field. That's the hardest part. The holidays, the birthdays, that's the roughest. Because even if they're not with you, you want the Merry Christmas, you want the I love you. Because one thing about my son, man, and we didn't do this before, we don't hang up now without saying I love you. And he initiates it every time. We didn't do that before. So it was hard, but where we're at now, I honestly don't think we've ever been as close. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just enjoying hanging out with him. And he's funny, man. He's a funny dude.
I was the kid. I actually have a joke about it that I tell. I do a little stand-up, nothing to your level, but.
Shut up. It's like, you like me. Now I'm like, yeah, I used to play football. No, you love me.
No, I've done a bunch of shows. But it's a funny thing, because my mom would say, that bastard ain't worth a shit. And my dad say, man, fuck that.
Yeah.
And I'm a 9-year-old, so both of my parents ain't worth a shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. My dad used to yell, suck my ass. I said, suck my ass.
That's why you and your wife are like that.
That's deep, though. But I heard suck my ass. I was like, boy, y'all really hate each other. Y'all bitches might as well. We might as well cut this shit off now.
I don't know. I've heard stories about you, though. That kind of goes with why you're a freak.
We get after it a little bit.
Let me take your daddy, suck my ass.
I'm a third too. I'm a junior. I got a third, so I'm worried about my son because he got a lot of nasty blood in him.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't say suck my ass in front of your kid.
Because they're going to think it's a real thing.
Yeah, especially now they're going to Google it.
Bro, every athlete's been the underdog, but it's rare you go from being the guy to the underdog. And we watched Bryce Young flip the script on his entire career and this entire season the last few weeks. He went from a dude that was benched to a dude that has the Carolina Panthers in the game with the best teams in the NFL.
And Visible's flipping the script on wireless with the same monthly rate every month, no fees, no taxes, and there's no stores. Everything's digital. You can get it right now on your phone.
Hey, so kick off 2025 by switching to Visible.
Lock in a rate of $20 a month for 25 months. Taxes and fees included with code PIVOT25. With Visible, you can get one line with unlimited data, talk, text, and hotspot with Verizon's 5G network. That's up to $120 in savings. Switch now at Visible.com.
Offer ends 1/31/2025. New members only. Service on Visible plans for 25 months require full promotional value. Additional terms apply. See website for network management details.
Being, like you're saying, smiley, being the funny guy, being a comedian, and then going through so much shit, it had to affect the craft. It had to.
Man, I'm good at, one thing I'll say, I'm good at compartmentalizing things. You gotta realize my entire marriage, I was compartmentalizing things. I was a different person on the road than I was at home. At home, I was husband and dad of the year. But once I got on the road, I was a completely different person. I was single, basically, right? So even with the divorce, when I get on stage, that's just like, I can breathe. Like, I can just say whatever I want. The crowd's gonna go with me, and we're, So I don't think it affected it. It probably helped it. Like, trauma helps. Going through some shit helps because you got shit to talk about now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're letting people know I'm not the only one. You're not the only one going through this.
What would you be doing if you couldn't get paid to do comedy?
I'd probably be a gym teacher. Yeah, be a gym teacher with the shorts. Remember the two button things that came up? The bike shorts. Yeah. With the whistle. Yeah, I always thought that was like some G shit. I was like, I'd be a bomb ass gym teacher at probably some inner city school, and I'd be single, and I'd just be hitting on all the single moms. You want your son to start? Be a football coach? Some Forrest Gump. What the hell? You got LeBron out there, but why you got this dude playing? The grades ain't right.
Forrest Gump.
Hey, your mama sure care about your education.
Every kind of gym teacher I am.
And mama made noises. Athletes and entertainers, especially at a high level, they often intertwine, right? Because we want to entertain. You guys were either former athletes or love sports. You had a LeBron joke about why he was the king because you was next to him at the urinal. He talks to people at urinals.
Oh no.
Two, is the LeBron joke from an actual experience and then you just exaggerated it, or did you never?
The joke is I was at a urinal and LeBron was next to me and I took a glance and I go, and there's only two people I would take a glance. I go, LeBron and Barack. There's the only two dudes I'm gonna take a glance, right? So no, I did not glance, but we was at Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's wedding, and they had I can't explain. It's like these tents, but it was like this immaculate tent. But they had like a trailer for the bathrooms behind the tents. And then, so I was at the urinal, and LeBron walked in and started pissing right next to me. And I'm literally going, I don't even believe I'm pissing next to LeBron James right now. So I didn't look. And then you're not trying to talk, so it's just silent. Like, I can say I heard LeBron stream. It was just so quiet. We weren't they weren't gonna look over. Hell about them Buckeyes, man.
That's my problem.
No, I'm not. That's why I don't use urinals in public places. Yeah. That was different. We were at a private function. It was a wedding. I think they only had 2 of the bathroom stalls, and they had like a couple urinals. People was in the stalls, so I went to the urinal. I don't use urinals like that because of dudes like you, and there's splashback. I'll be at the airport and I'll just move down bathrooms trying to find a stall, like where I could go in and lock the door and
Just pee.
Yeah, just to pee.
You know what? The uncomfortable thing, that's my problem with it. We could be talking about deep, in-depth, damn financial decisions and investments or anything outside of the bathroom. Yeah. As soon as men walk in the bathroom, now we stare at the ground and like, it's just another room. Hey, man, how you doing? How the kids going?
No.
Everything going good, man?
Like I said, I compartmentalize things. I'm compartmentalize that urine, hitting that porcelain. That's all I want to do right there. We can talk outside, but not in the bathroom.
That's crazy.
It's like guys when you go to public gyms and they get in the dang saunas naked. Or the jacuzzi's naked. Like, what are you doing, bro? Cover yourself.
You know who Bill Parcells is?
Mm-hmm.
When he was the president of the Dolphins or whatever, he had some high-ranking official with the Dolphins. I was in the hot tub one day, and he walked in and got butt naked.
Shut up.
And started talking to me about stopping the power. And I was like, I just kept running away from him, butt naked. He had his little ferret poked out of the snow. It was just, man, it was the craziest thing in the world. So I'm with you on that, but the bathroom thing, man, I'm a bathroom talker.
I'm glad I know that, because I'm not walking into any bathroom you're in, for sure. But yeah, that's where the joke came. I didn't glance at it, but I was just thinking, oh yeah, I got to talk about this on stage, because nobody believe it.
The athletes that you know, do you become fans of their teams?
Yeah, if they're cool.
Okay.
If they're cool, 100%. And that's why I have it's love-hate with Pittsburgh, because I've been going into Pittsburgh for so long as a stand-up, and the people always come out, they support, they know I'm a Bengals fan, we have nice banter back and forth, but I've had so many like decent friends that end up on the Steelers. I'm like, God. Then were you there in 2009 when I roasted you guys?
Yeah.
At training camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, the way you guys treated me when I went and roasted you guys with T-Row, and I was just like, Tomlin was cool. Like, how I gotta be cool. You can't be an asshole. I want him to be a dick so bad. Like this, oh my God. And now we're seeing it on Max.
On Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah. You're HBO Max, you're seeing why he is who he is. Like listen, I follow every Cincinnati Twitter handle that deal with the Bengals, and even they are like, dude, we really want to hate Tomlin, but it's really hard after you see how he is. But all the good head coaches, but Zach's cool too. Yeah. Zach's a great guy too, Zach Taylor. I roasted the Bengals last year. He hired me, brought me in. It was awesome.
So it'll be easier to roast them this year.
I don't talk about that.
I saw you. Recently you got to bring the dance back.
Yeah.
Right? You
with the boys.
put the belt on. What you said you had it for like a month though. You've been holding on to it.
Yeah, when the Bengals win, I do the Bobby Schmurder. I'm not gonna say the song. You know what it is.
Hot brother.
Yeah. But I do a little dance when they win, and I got this championship belt this year for my birthday. I was like, ooh, I'm wearing this 18 times this year. 5. I'm like, and I always got to film the dance with my twins before I leave, because they're usually working on the weekends. And I filmed this like in October. And I've been waiting for a month, because we lost 3 in a row. Bengals had the bye week, and we finally beat the Cowboys. I finally got my kids look different now. They big.
Your kids look like Austin.
Yeah. I'm like, what is going on, man? So we'll be all right.
I do have a question though. Joe Burrow, right? LSU guy, playing at MVP level. It's hard to find a quarterback. What's your feelings on having Joe and Jamar right now?
Oh, they're best. Even in us losing, we're so fun to watch. Like, I still am tuned in, and like, I've never had that feeling to have like a franchise quarterback that can carry you to a Super Bowl. As good as Carson Palmer was, I never felt what I felt with what I feel with Joe Burrow. And then to bring in Jamar, and it's so funny. Cincinnati fans are so funny, man, because we don't really know shit, because we're so snake bitten. When Burrow came out, there was a big thing like Chase Young or Joe Burrow. So, and this is not a knock on Chase Young, but I think we made the right decision.
Yeah.
When Jamar got drafted, the big thing was Pena, who's doing great with Detroit, or Jamar Chase. And I don't know if you guys remember, preseason, Jamar dropped a couple balls, and he said, yeah, the NFL balls are different than the college balls. He was making a true statement. And then everybody went, oh, we got a bust. He already complained about the balls. They ain't saying shit no more. We're so, even go back when Joe Mixon got drafted by the Bengals. And he had the incident at the Denny's in Oklahoma. And everybody's like, we're going to lose our fan base. We're drafting a woman beater. I go, dude, shut up. He was 18. He was at a Denny's. The girl spit on him. And yeah, I'm not saying what he did was right, but you do stupid shit at 18 that you probably wouldn't do. And if I would have hit that woman, yeah, she probably would have hit me back. You know, bitch. Joe didn't know he's a freak of nature. You can't hit somebody at all. So I was like, and I said, relax. I said, all he got to do is get here, ingrain himself in the community. I go, the first time he scores a couple touchdowns, we're going to forget all about that shit. And then they was mad when he left. I said, you got to make up your mind. You mad because they drafted him, and now you mad because they didn't re-sign him. That's what I'm saying. I'm a knowledgeable football fan. And I like that I'm in entertainment because I get to know you guys from a different side. So when I hear the stupid fans say dumb shit, I'll be like, oh, God, you guys are idiots. They always go with the money. People always go with money. Well, if I got paid $3 million a year, I would never drop a ball. I would love to see you run across the middle one time with Ed Reed sitting back there waiting on you. Okay, yeah. You can go back to that $75,000 a year job quick. Shut up.
You're talking about getting to know us, man. Let us get to know you. We're going to pivot back to this comedian beef. At the beginning of the year, Cat Williams looked like Nostradamus. Man. He said all this shit was going to happen. And 2024 has been very dramatic. What's up with the beef? What's up with comedians? What's going on?
I'm sure you guys don't get along with all your teammates. I'm sure there's locker rooms you're like, that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you got a couple. You got some wild boys back in the day.
We kept it in the locker room.
That's the thing. We usually keep it in the green room. And, you know, and Cat's he's so goddamn smart. And he's so like, he's just engaging, and he's so good at like whatever he says, like you believe it. Even if you think that might not be true, you believe it. Like for instance, the beef he had with Cedric, the spaceship joke.
Yeah.
I was around back then, and I remember Cat had a closer that would shut the house down. He could go up for 30 minutes, and not that he would, but he could bomb for 25. And he had this closer that would bring the house down regardless. And he had this car, like an old, I don't know, let's say a Cutlass, and he's broken down the highway, and he lifts the hood up, and Biggie came on, and Cat would flick off somebody driving by, and then he'd get it started, and then he'd hop in it, and he had that little hat, and he'd be riding, brought the house down every time. And then Cedric had the spaceship joke that was similar.
Right.
And I remember back in LA when we were doing I call it comedians going frats. So my fraternity would be like the 99 to 2002. That's when the D-Rays, the Cats, the Kevins, we were all like up 4 times a week trying to get our name out there, and you'd see us on the list, every night. So that's my frats. You'd see Cat do that joke every night. And then Cedric was doing his joke. I never correlated the two, even when I saw it. But if Cat went up, Cedric couldn't do that joke. And if Cedric went up, Cat probably couldn't do his joke. Because it was very similar, too, now that I'm looking back on it. So I guess whether it happened or not, I don't know. But in Cat's mind, I wrote that first. And Cedric, sampled it. And so I could see where Cat's coming from. But I'm under the guise of, we think alike, too. As comedians, we think alike. I had a joke identical to D.L. Hughley, and we were on the same show in Miami at the James L. Knight Center. And it was right when LeBron left Cleveland to go to the Heat. And I literally, the week after he announced it, we got a show. And I went on stage before DL. And I said, I don't know why people were shocked LeBron went to Miami. I said, I've been to Cleveland and I've been to Miami. It is not a tough decision if you ask me where I want to live. That's like asking a dude, you want to fuck Precious or Beyonce? I do the joke. Kills, right? DL goes up and does the exact same joke. I mean, verbatim. Pick the same 2 girls. Because Precious just came out. So she was like the hot thing comedians was talking about. And Beyonce's Beyonce. So me and DL are at the dinner after the show. I go, hey, did you notice the crowd went quiet for a minute? He goes, yeah. I was like, dude, I told that same joke. Same girls. He goes, shut up. At no point did DL say, you stole it. I didn't think DL stole it. It's just we thought alike. So at that point, I went, all right, I'm not going to be so quick to just accuse people of taking stuff. But it does happen, too. So I see like I said, I'm both sides of it. I'm on Cedric's side and I'm on Cat's side. Because I don't know
Who
Cedric.
gonna have a movie?
So I'm saying, Cat just bought a military base and said still got the neighborhood. So I don't know. I like to do both.
Speaking of, like, you talked about your community and, like you say, the frat or whatever. How have those relationships helped you in the business? Because even we understand, now it's about relationships. How have some of those relationships with comedians and entertainers and actors helped you?
I think I'm respected in this business. I think people know if they hire me, I'm not coming in late. I'm gonna know my lines. I'm gonna bring my own little twist to the character. And guys call you, like, I've called D-Ray for shows, and D-Ray calls me for shows, like stand up, Kev's called me for stuff. You gotta realize, people think Kevin hired me for Think Like a Man and Ride Along, and the real husband's like, no, but at the same time, he had enough power to not put me on those. You know what I mean? My thing is, like, I just try to be cool, and I try to make sure that when I walk in a room, people are happy I'm there working on their project, or they're happy I'm on the show with them. Because I'm not bringing no drama. I'm not bringing no bullshit backstage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you go to, like, say you go to these shoots, do they ever say, hey, G, you're gonna have to like a white woman in this movie?
Like a white woman?
Yeah.
I did that in Think Like a Man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's different. That's acting. I should got an Oscar.
Should have got an Oscar.
At least a BET award.
Yeah, they bring it in because they're like, we know what you like, but in this movie, you ain't got one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had a couple white girlfriends in different projects. Yeah, it's different.
That's as far as it goes.
It's different.
What would, when you get to this stage in your career, what are some of the things that you haven't done that you'd like to do going forward?
I haven't been the lead in the movie, which would be awesome. There's certain people I haven't worked with yet. I think everybody wants to work with Denzel, obviously. Like, I always wanted to work with, like, Brad Pitt, because I always thought he would just like me. Like, I would be like, you're a cool motherfucker, man. I don't know why, but every time I see him, I go, I think we'd be friends. But, I mean, there's a lot of people I haven't worked with I want to work with, like Tom Hanks and Will Ferrell. And so probably be the lead in the movie would be something.
Okay, picture a movie to be a lead in right now. If
That's easy.
the people are watching and they say Gary Owen's going to be the lead actor in this movie, what's the script about?
Oh, I want to remake The Jerk. That's so easy. I want to remake The Jerk.
That's actually a good movie.
That's
though.
actually Steve Martin?
That was a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
You must not know the premise and why it would actually be the perfect movie for him.
He might be able to make it better for me, but yeah.
You saw it?
Yes.
You didn't like it? I liked it.
I'm a life guy. Harlem
Life was good
Nights.
too, boy.
I'm like that more comedy. It's
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if all the comedians could come together and make just a bomb-ass new Harlem Nights or something like that. We kind of did that a little bit with Meet the Blacks.
Yeah.
And the second one, we kind of did that because we had Kat in the second one and Epps and me and Michael Blacks was in the first one and D-Ray. We kind of, Duval, kind of did that a little bit. But I wish, like, just one of these big studios would just be like, fuck it. We're emptying the bank. We're bringing all you motherfuckers together. You know what I mean? We're bringing Chris. We're going to bring Eddie. Just all the Martin. We're going to bring everybody together and just fucking let us go. Almost like don't even have a script. Just like, what do you guys want to do?
I
Just
enjoy
wing
it.
it.
Are those your guys? Because you just mentioned legends, right? Chris, Martin, Eddie. When you talk about the top guys in the game or people that you looked at and said, okay, here's the sort of comedians that I think are the best, who would be your top guys?
The best to me was Bernie Mac because that's the first guy I saw live at a big theater just destroy. And I went, where I looked around like, these people are moving seats and standing up. And I got to see the openers. So when I saw the openers, I was like, damn, these guys are killing. And then I saw the next level when Bernie got up there, and not just his jokes, the energy, the way the crowd just went like, this is what we've been waiting on. And then to meet him afterwards, Bernie was an intimidating dude. He wasn't, his energy is you fall into his energy in a room. You know, some people walk in, they have a presence. That dude had a presence like I've never seen.
Wow.
And so I was like, it was almost like I was in awe. And I've told that story numerous times of the first time I saw him at the Universal Amphitheater, Guy Torrey took me to see him. And then we went backstage and I was seeing all these comics that was there. You know, I was seeing like Sad and Chris Rock and stuff, and they was all coming up to Bernie afterwards. And I'm a no-name comic in the back, and I'm like sitting in a corner, and there was these M&Ms, and I'm eating the M&Ms, right? But I'm watching. There was a couple comics that were being obnoxious. They were trying to be seen because there was a lot of behind-the-scenes people there. This was before the kings of comedy, and I'm eating these M&Ms, and I could see Bernie grabbed his bodyguard and got in his ear, and they started to weed people out the room, the loud ones. And I'm watching. I go, oh, wait a minute, they're kicking people out. And then Bernie locked eyes with me. And I went, oh, shit, these must be his M&Ms. And I went, I never took my eyes off of him. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were. And then he looked at me and went, just gave me a look, and then moved on. And I go, oh, he let me stay. He let me stay. So I started eating M&Ms again. And then it hit me. I go, oh, I'm so glad. I was in LA like 2 months when this happened. And I'm so glad I got that experience because it showed me fall back sometimes. You know, we want it right now. It's not your time to be the center of attention. Just fall back, and when it's your time, it's your time. I'm glad I saw that because I saw comedians trying real hard. Because there was big name comics in the room, but there was bigger name behind the scene producers and directors that I probably didn't know was in the room. Because I'm talking right after that, Bernie had like 3 movies, Life. Like I'm talking like the month after I saw him at Universal Amphitheater, they started filming Life like a month later. Wow. Filming it, you know, because in the industry, everybody knew when Life was getting filmed, everybody's like, yo, Eddie's on his A game, Martin's on his A game, this movie's gonna be different. Because at that time, you know, Eddie was dealing with a lot, Martin was dealing with a lot, and you know, they said, oh, these guys are locked in for this one.
And as a comedian, is that natural progression? Because you just thought about it. You stand up, you had a show, you get a show, or you start doing movies. Is that what everybody wants to do, or is that the goal is to do movies and become what you bring it up, Kev, Bernie, all those guys said, everybody did the same thing?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, when I started, now we're a different age. We're social media. Movies don't hit like they used to. Like, I've done like 3 or 4 movies in the last couple years that I didn't even know they were out. People come out, yeah, I saw your movie on Stars. What? That shit's out. We don't have like the big premieres anymore. It used to be a movie came out, you did a big premiere, and then you did the red carpet, you're interviewing with all these different media outlets, and then it's in the theaters for like a month, and then it's 6 months later, it finally hits cable or DVDs and stuff. Now, shoot, movie, you don't even know if it's going to theaters or if it's streaming or what. And there's so many places for people to give their attention to. And there's not the big, people aren't watching TV like that anymore where like you could do a big press run and you knew a movie was coming out. Because there'd be commercials at every break. Now people aren't watching TV like that. So it's like nowadays, like social media, man, I think we're in a golden age as far as like taking your career in your own hands. Because I don't knock these younger social media dudes. I'm cherry picking, like, I'm too old to be doing like TikTok dances and shit. You know, but I still look at them like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not really a sketch dude either, but I do know I gotta stay active. So I'm always posting like just jokes. I'll post old jokes that a lot of people ain't seen because they've been on the shelf for 15 years. And I'll just put them on Instagram or put them on TikTok and people are like, yo, this motherfucker funny as hell. I go, motherfucker, where you been? This shit's old. I'm talking about we ain't never gonna have no black president. That's how old the joke is.
Whenever we are together, people approach us all in different ways, right? Like they talk to me, they want to talk about sports. They go to Fred, they want some sort of wisdom on life, and they always want him to be funny, right? He has to be on at all times. But we also have real lives. You know, a dude came up to me the other day in the airport. He walks over to him, sitting down, it's 5:30. He shakes me, he's like, are you Ryan Clark? I was like, yes, man. I was like, yes, sir. Pleasure to meet you, my man. And he sat down, and I was like, he left his bag over there. He's sitting down, like he must want to really talk. And I wasn't in the mood to really talk. And he goes, can I ask you a fantasy question? And I was like, no.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
said, no. I shook his hand, I said, have a safe trip though. You know what I mean? So for you, like say like when you're going through all the things with your family, do people run up to you and always expect you to be on and to be funny?
You get both. You get the people that are really, you think they're gonna come in obnoxious, but then they actually like, you have like a heartfelt moment with them. You know, you're like, they'll be like, you know, I like the way you're handling things right now. Or like when my brother passed, God, I had so many people come up to me at airports and stuff. That have had, you know, drug addicted relatives that passed and stuff like that. But then you also get the obnoxious ones. I was at a Cheesecake Factory with my daughter one time, and this lady just sat down in the booth and had her phone out. And I looked at her and she goes, "Ah, shut up, you know this comes with it." And then her phone died. And I go, "That's God right there." That's God. And then she goes, let me take it with your phone and send it to me. I said, "You must be out your mind." Like, sat down. It's just me and my daughter. She's like 10. I'm looking at her. She goes, "Oh, shut up. You know they come with it." I was so happy her phone died. So you get both sides. Like you said, that guy might have been like, who knows? Might have had a family question or something. Yeah. So it's like your guard's up. And that's, I always tell people, it's the approach. It's all the approach. If you can, I was in Columbus, Ohio. This like 13, 14-year-old kid came up to me so smooth. I was like at Foot Locker looking at his shoes. He walked right up next to me, never looked at me. "What's up, Gary?" I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What shoe you like?" And just started talking to me. He goes, "Yeah, man, I'm a big fan, man. Hey, you think I get a picture?" I was like, "Motherfucker, I want to take a picture with you." Like, he was so smooth with it though. Like, "Hey, what's up, Gary?" like he knew me from back in the day. But it was all the approach. Yeah. Now, if you come up and be like, "Oh, Gary on the Foot Locker, Gary on the Foot Locker," you know, I'm like, "Oh, fuck, we gotta go. We gotta go." You know what I mean?
From the trailer parks of Ohio to where we are today and everything in between, what's been your biggest pivot in life?
That's a good one. The biggest pivot was, I was in the military and I just said, I'm gonna do stand-up. I'm gonna do stand-up. Because in the military, when you're getting ready to get out, they try to convince you to stay in. And they act like the world is just wild and there's no jobs. And you know, you're gonna give up free dental and free medical and a guaranteed check that's getting bigger every year. And I just remember thinking, man, I'm not gonna be happy. I don't wanna be 60 years old. Like, I wonder if I can do stand-up. I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it. So that biggest pivot was getting out of the Navy, moving to LA, not knowing a lot of people. I wasn't in debt, but I didn't have no money in my pocket either. I was even. And just, you know, living in a little rundown apartment in North Hollywood, trying to grind and make it. And actually, if you ask me about my entertainment career, it's probably one of my favorite times because the excitement of walking into rooms and you're doing stand-up with guys you saw on TV, and then you're meeting people, and you're like, "Oh God, this is tangible. Like, I'm touching these people that I've always wanted to meet." And so that would be my biggest pivot when I decided I'm getting out of the Navy and I'm doing stand-up. I was already doing stand-up when I was in the Navy, but when I made that decision, like, yeah, this is it. I'm going for it. That's the biggest pivot.
That's love.
I love it, man. We appreciate you, bro. This was everything. It was funny. It was serious.
Yeah.
We learned. Man, this is what the show is about, bro. You've been a great guest.
You got a prediction for 2025? Like
Super Bowl?
Nostradamus? No, like a kind of cat type prediction.
Oh, I'm gonna be huge. Oh God, you guys have to pay me to come on the pivot next year.
Let's
Go send
do
the car
it.
service.
Let's do it.
Sure, that joke was good enough for it. Appreciate you, my boy. Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
man.
Yes, sir.
For sure, bro.
Gee, I was there last night, bro. Jamar is electric, though. And I've known him since he was 16 years old.
I bet.
I've watched him play since high school. I coached him in high school in 707. Bro, it's different watching him out there, dog.
To have a team that, like, is disappointing, like, snake bitten like that, I go, dude, the best thing for us is to play on Monday night, because Jamar trying to show everybody, nah, I'm that dude.
Yeah.
I saw when he had the 7-11 shirt on, I go, he better get off tonight. Right. I don't know if we're going to win.
What up, dog? Chance meetings in Atlanta airport. What up, dog?
Yo, man, what's up?
Yes, sir.
Damn, I was like, yes, I want to do this.
Dog.
What's going on?
Airport.
Godfrey, welcome, man.
That is back.
Freddie T was just talking about the fact that he went to Diddy's parties.
No, it's not no plural. They always try to find some
I went to
Mexican
Diddy
shit.
parties though, but not
Plural?
No, just like in New York when New York was dope. like early 2000s, we would go to, but it was public parties.
Right.
I mean, we went to a Halloween party that was dope, and we would go see Jay-Z, we see all this regular club, but I never did no after.
Yeah, you feel? Do you feel?
I wasn't even famous enough to get invited to no
I'm about to say,
freak-off.
do you feel like let down that you?
Nah,
weren't?
no, I ain't into that moist booty ass. I ain't into that.
What I said. Hey, hit her. Okay, hit her. Okay. Now they gonna hit you.
I don't with moist.
No, they hit me.
Yeah, they crazy.
Oh no, you had to damn mind, bud.
They used to call me Freaky Fred on this show, but I ain't into the freak off.
Yeah, that's
sir.
freak.
Hey, man.
There's different kind of freak
Yeah.
on your own, but not. Yeah.
One on.
Well, hey, welcome to the pivot.
Take that. Oh no.
This is Godfrey. This is my boy Freddie T, Channing
sir.
Crowder. I'm Ryan Clark, Pivot fam. Thank you for pivoting with us. I mean, shoot, we just jumped right into it, which is funny, right? Because you talk a lot about being Nigerian,
Yes, sir.
right? And anytime we have like a first generation African, it's always, they were told be doctors, lawyers,
engineers.
right? Engineers.
Yes.
Everything that had to do with
right.
go and get an education
right.
and applying that trade.
That's right.
How did comedy work out in your house?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. I went to University of Illinois. I was a pre-med psych major because my father's like, medicine. You have to do engineering. You have to lawyer. You have something to make sure you are. That they're very, very hardcore on that. That's why a lot of Nigerians you meet are doctors, lawyers, mathematicians, because it's just, or Indians. Same. It's like we're parallel. The Indian culture. They're all lawyers, doctors, engineers, because they think that's the ultimate success, is that, nothing else. Like sports is cool. Even sports, when I play sports, my father said, that's nice, but if you don't make it, you can be a doctor, see. Because some people are better than you. So, it was true. You play sports, you don't, because that's why I admire you pro athletes, whether you've been doing sports, you get into NFL for a year or in the Major League Baseball, 2 years, 3, to make it there is some of the most difficult, can I say shit?
Yeah.
It's the most difficult shit. I just want to make sure it's like this, right? Be like, don't ever curse my motherfucking shit. But no, it's the most.
I do a show with him.
Yeah, bro. You good. They edit my ass.
It's that's why I admire pro athletes, because there's a difference between when you're watching a game and if a pro athlete makes a mistake, the people in the stands are like, oh man, how did he miss that pass? You wouldn't have caught that shit. Yeah. You're a bum. We're watching people who are better than you. Shut the up. You know what I'm saying? You were intramural, you're a flag football mother. Shut the up. You know what I mean? So I was always impressed by that. So I'm glad my parents were very hardcore on the educational thing because they were right about certain things. I was a pre-med psych major. I'm thinking I'm going to do psychiatry. I was always into the brain and human behavior. So that's what I was going for. And then I was thinking about comedy my third year in college. I was like, I'm thinking about, because I walked on the team in Illinois. I did, on a bet from my friend Marlon Primus. He was our free safety. It was the year of Jeff George, John Malkovich. What an asshole. John Malkovich, I hated that motherfucker. John Malkovich, it was Jeff George, Henry Jones. Henry Jones, he played for the Bills. Yeah. These were the guys I was on the team with. Derek Brownlow, all of these guys. I walked on the team on a bet. And this dude, Marlon, who was he's one of the most talented dudes I've ever seen in my life. This dude could throw the ball 70 yards. He went to Banning High School in LA. It was like a #1 high school football team. And I remember when we were practicing on the field, I was wide receiver, right? So he was throwing the ball. I said, damn, he was free safety. I said, damn. I said, how the fuck you threw, are you a quarterback? He said, yeah. But he said cuz a lot. I didn't understand cuz, I'm from Chicago, so he'd be like this. He's like, man, shit, cuz, I could throw the ball. Shit, cuz, I'm a quarterback, cuz. It was all the cuz shit. He says, yeah. I said, but why couldn't you be a quarterback? He says, they don't let us be quarterbacks, man. Illinois don't want no black quarterbacks. He kept that shit. They did, in Illinois, at the time, they didn't want black quarterbacks. You understand? Yeah, they didn't allow, they converted all the guys that could be quarterbacks into defensive guys. which
But it was that time and era in football where if you played quarterback but you were fast and you could move, we're gonna put you at wide receiver. We're gonna put you at defensive back.
Yeah.
Happened to Lamar. Lamar had those conversations.
You
Fred.
can look at the University of Florida too. Not until Chris Leak pulled up. I don't believe we had a.
And a lot of the black quarterbacks were like option quarterbacks. A lot of times, like what's his name from the Sooners?
Frazier from Nebraska.
Who's the other guy?
Holloway.
Holloway.
Yeah.
It was about Holloway. He would always toss it. Run, toss, run, toss. And that's, we weren't known to be in the pocket or none of that. And it was all white guys. Because we had Jeff George, who was phenomenal.
He could really throw it.
Phenomenal. But we had black dudes that were like quarterbacks. And that was that. I learned a lot just walking on the team. I learned a lot. But then I remember, I think you guys do this. You had to have a talent show.
Yeah.
Because they shaved your head when you were, rookies. They shaved your head and they made you do a talent show. So I did the talent show, so I was imitating like our coaches and shit like that. I kind of took it over. And so in my head, I was like, man, I was thinking about stand-up because I always wanted to do stand-up when I was in college because I used to hold court in the cafeteria. But then I was really militant at the same time. So you're talking about, this is the Spike Lee movies, this is Malcolm X days, this is Public Enemy. I'm listening to KRS-One and all this conscious rap. And we started an African-American studies book club at the Cultural Center, even though the university was trying to shut us down. So there was a lot of racist shit happening on campus. So I was into black activism and shit like that. We brought people like Sister Soldier to our school. Wow. Stokely Carmichael, when he was Kwame Ture, this lady by the name of Frances Cress Welsing, who wrote this book, The ISIS Papers. So we brought all these people in. We brought in Daruba Ben Wahad, who was members of the Black Panther Party, which Tupac Shakur's mob. He's in that documentary. So I was militant as shit. Like, and being in Chicago, I would go to the South Side to see Minister Farrakhan. So I was 18 going to Savior's Day. So I was that, and it's a predominantly white university, so I was angry every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was angry, but I was funny, so I would incorporate racism and comedy. I said, yo, I should do this shit, because I felt because I had a lot of funny friends, right? You have a lot of funny friends, and people say, why do you do comedy? Well, because I'm funny. I said, nah, I'm funny. I got no funny dudes, but I have something to say though. I said, this will be a chance for me to talk shit and talk about the system. Through comedy, I could do that, like Richard Pryor did it, like Paul Mooney did it, George Carlin. I said, I could do it like that. When I started finishing up college, when I got back to Chicago, I started doing open mics. And I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my dad until my sister caught me at a show, like some open mic shit. I'm just in the hallway getting ready to go up. My sister's in the hallway, like, what are you doing here? I said, what the fuck you doing here? She said, you doing comedy? I said, yeah, don't tell Dad, shut up, don't tell. She told him. And then I remember the day, my first couple weeks of doing comedy, my father came down, because I stayed in the basement of the house, the basement room. That's when you're a dude, you like the basement because you can sneak. You know what I'm talking about. So my father comes down, so he says, Godfrey, get up. I say, hey, what's up? I'm thinking he's gonna ask me to do some regular shit. He says, so, your sister told me that you're doing this comedy thing. I say, yeah, doing the comedy thing. But I thought you wanted to go to medical school. I say, yeah, I do, but I don't try this comedy thing. He said, okay, but if you don't do good at it, just continue.
Yeah. It's always you could be a doctor if that don't work.
If that doesn't work. And I was like, I'm not falling back on this shit. And I had odd jobs. I was working at a grocery store. We were all grocery store kids. My brother, my sister. So I was working at a grocery store and I started to cut my hours because I wanted to keep doing this comedy shit. Got my degree in psychology, boom, done. I finished that. And I just went straight ahead, and things started working out. I booked some commercials and, you know what I'm saying? I was making a little money. I remember I booking a McDonald's commercial. That was like a big ass deal.
Damn 7-Up. I remember your black ass.
This is before 7-Up. See, I'm still in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Before I moved to New York. So I'm like, I booked a commercial at McDonald's and back then you was getting money. I was like, what? So then I was able to move out the house and get my own place. So my father's like, this is good. It was all about supporting yourself and being successful. And from there, moved to New York City, started doing the New York circuit. This is during the Def Jam days. Def Jam, this is when I ran into Bill Bellamy and Chappelle and Tracy Morgan and, you know what I'm saying? And I'm coming to New York, a Chicago guy, because I started in Chicago in Bernie Mac's club. Bernie Mac had a club, his Cotton Club in Chicago. That was like the premier black comedy place was Bernie Mac Monday nights with his band and shit. It was amateur night and Bernie was the host. It was me, Corey Holcomb, D. Ray Davis, it was all, and that's how I met Cedric the Entertainer because he was from St. Louis. Mike Epps from Indianapolis. So we all Midwest dudes. That's how I met everybody. Mark Curry, Jamie, I met everybody. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is it, because Bernie took me under his wing. You know what I'm saying? Bernie took me under his wing. This is when the Bulls were winning. Mike.
How hard is it though for you, right? Because you talk about the psychology degree.
Yes.
Right? And you say you have stuff to say. You talk about being militant. And social media lets us see all of those things.
Yes.
But it's difficult sometimes to be that funny, to be funny enough where people like it, and also be authentically enough yourself to show that comedy and intelligence can mix. How hard is that for you to continue to incorporate?
It's very easy for me because I'm used to talking like that, but I'm used to being funny with it. You know what I mean? There's some comedians that won't take that. I took the hard road, because sometimes, like Paul Moody was one of my favorites because when white people would leave the room. And Paul Moody was like, white folks can't handle when a nigga's smart. You know what I mean? He's like, anytime white people leave, he's like, oh, there they go, white folks leaving again, Right. But I love that because a lot of times white people would leave off of honesty and truth. Like you're leaving off of this man's pain, which is unfair. That's why we can never get anywhere because you're always leaving when there's a real conversation happening. I've seen people stay still when a dude's saying the word all day, just doing like buffoonish ass. You guys are just clapping, but when somebody talks about, like, I do a joke like, I say, man, it's so funny because the banjo is an African instrument. It's an African instrument, and these hillbillies love the banjo. That's weird. And it's African. I go, why don't you pick your own instrument? Why are you using black people's shit for white supremacy? That's white mediocrity to me, right? I wish I could just go to a Klan meeting. Of course, I wouldn't be invited, but if I could disguise myself into a Klan meeting and just go, excuse me, can we have our instrument back? But that's the kind of shit.
So you want to infiltrate like Clayton Bigsby. Right? You want to infiltrate like Clayton Bigsby.
Bro, I love The Devil Went Down to Georgia as well. It's one of my favorite songs too. But does it water down your message? The comedy of it?
No.
But it got you because it's in anything you say in a joking way, because I joke around a lot. I mess around a lot.
Yeah.
But like you're bringing up, the black activists.
Yeah.
But you up there bullshitting.
I'm bullshitting because you gotta lighten it up for people to get Richard Pryor was a king of that shit. Like Richard Pryor said, a lot of times when you go to court, you're looking for justice and that's all you see is just us. You get that?
Yeah.
Yep. Black, and that's the way to, that's a way to kind of make it palatable to bring a message. Because I could be one of those Malcolm X dudes and just speak on a podium, but I was a funny dude too, you know what I mean? And it's a tough message, and I for myself don't want to be that angry, but I was angry enough where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this joke in front of these, and I'll do it in front of majority white crowds. I don't give a shit. When they're just like, God damn it, I didn't appreciate you fucking shit. What I do is, because I can change my voice, I go, this will be neutralizing. I'm not gonna talk about his politics. I just do whatever I see him say. I'll just, like he's talked about stage 9 cancer. There's no such thing. So I go, he has stage 9 cancer. It's so bad. I can't believe it. Stage 9, it's bad. Stage 10 gets really bad. I've had stage 20 and I was able to survive because my cells are very different.
But to Channing's question, though, right, and I deal with this in the media, right?
Yeah.
When you stand up and you say certain things, there is a section of people that will not only push back, but shut off to you, right? And say, because in this one moment you mentioned a certain thing or joked about a certain thing, this is the whole of you. And if that's who you are, I'm done with it, right? In comedy, it's about having people wanting to come listen to you, wanting to see you. How do you deal with the balance of saying, okay, I don't need those people in order to make sure I'm doing what I want to do?
Comedy is like, man, I can maybe compare it to chefs. You're gonna make what you make, and the people that are gonna like it, they're gonna like it. You can't worry about that as long as you know you're a good chef. Because you can be the best chef on the planet, but some people just don't like your shit. It is what it is. Comedy is an art form of words, man. Comedy comes from pain. It doesn't, that's why black people are the funniest, because we get shit on the most. That's just facts. We do, whether they're African, Caribbean, all around the world. It's like, I say we're the most famous people because we run rent-free in people's heads. I mean, you got people online that are wearing blackface and making fun of black people just out of nowhere. They never met black people, but they just decide, let's just make fun of black people. Or you got people copying us. They, you know, every time I see some Asian dude pop locking, it's something black. It's like, or I see a white couple doing some Afrobeat shit. We run rent-free in everybody's head because we're the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. Period. Our culture is the best. It's the best. All of that shit. Because you don't see black dudes driving around listening to Indian music. No, they're driving around listening to Jay-Z and Beyonce. They're listening to our shit. You ever see black dudes going, yo, turn that up. Yo, that's my shit right there. Fuck no. Every time I see them playing hip hop out of their song, out of their shit, ain't nobody listening to their shit. They listen to our shit. Yeah. All of American music is black created, period. Country is black. The bullshit. It's all black. If you know your history, it's not a magic potion. It's facts. It's just.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. But as a businessman, and you're your own business, you don't have franchises.
Yeah.
Are you cutting out consumers?
I don't think so. I think that my thing is the way I do it is I'm not coming from a point of I hate people, because my friends are from every walk of life. And you know, some of my friends be like, you seem like you hate white people. It's like, you're my friend. You're sitting in my house. How do I hate? I just don't like, there's some white people that are horrible. And I just called them out. What's the big deal? You're calling us the N-word for no reason. I was called, listen, racism, I didn't wake up wanting racism. I was walking down the street by my business, call me the N-word. You know, white dudes drive by, you fucking nigger. That's what happened. That's how I ran into it. I thought they were mispronouncing Nigerian. I didn't know. I was like, it's a soft G, bro, soft G. But you see how that's funny? How I made it funny off of my pain. Someone called me the N-word.
Yeah.
They called me the N-word. But that's how I make it funny, because we could be going around taking people's heads off if we wanted to. If we look at the history of how we've been treated, we should be taking their heads off every day. Every day we should be punching them in the face. But we don't do that because we're not like that. But that fear, that's the deflection is, oh, you don't like white? I said, no one said that. There's specific people. I judge people by content of character. We all do. You know that. We're the most accepting people on the planet. Yeah. You know, until you do something up to us. Like you see some people like, okay, Michael Richards, you know, Kramer from Seinfeld when he did that whole rant. I was with him a week before that. I did a show with him in LA at the Laugh Factory. And I've talked to him. He's a very strange guy. He's like Kramer. You know, he's like, oh my, yeah, you're very funny. I was with him. Yeah, man, yeah, you're so intelligent and quick. That's how he talks. So one day I was hosting a show. He was on it. He was bombing. Old white lady said, it was pretty funny. She goes, you're funnier on Seinfeld. And he goes, you fucking bitch. He just went off, snapped, cursed her out. So the next week, he went off on some black people. And he called them the N-word. He was just trying to shock them. I get it. I know he doesn't have a bad heart, you know what I'm saying? But we still forgave him because I heard in the streets in New York, people were like, man, I love Kramer though, man. That was one of my favorite characters because he was like an outsider. He disappointed us, man. That's how we will accept you. And then when you hear somebody going off doing the N-word shit, you disappointed. Like Drew Brees, when he was doing all that shit, you're like, you played in the NFL, but all your teammates are black. And then now that you out of the NFL, now you're in right winger now? I know some comics that I've known for years that I was always cool with. They in the woods now calling people all day. They're just in the woods going, I was like, wait a minute. But I thought you was cool. You understand? So a lot of these, we're accepting of everybody. We believe in content of character. So when you just are racist and I'm calling you out, why are you getting mad at me? Because I'm not giving you that stereotype. I'm not giving you that shit, all that.
Read one of your recent posts.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how far back it is. You know how stuff comes up. Is it's the Catholics, and you were talking about just religion. You know, you said you grew up Catholic.
It was Episcopalian. Didn't know.
Okay.
It's like second string Catholic. It's the same shit, but you just don't get the chip. You know, the little body of Christ.
What is sort of your relationship with religion then? Because you, in hearing you talk about it,
yeah,
it's from a very pessimistic point of. It feels like a very pessimistic point of view.
For it. I don't get mad at people that are atheists, because an atheist actually believed in God at one time. The concept of God, they did. They obviously believed in God first, and then they saw a lot of the stuff that was like, this isn't making sense. Why is God letting this happen to me? If I'm supposed to believe in God, why is he letting all this happen to me? Why did he let slavery happen? Why did he let this, you know? I understand, and first of all, Nigerians are God-fearing. I have God in my name, Godfrey. My middle name is Chukwuma. That means God knows all. Danchima, my last name, it's all Nigeria. Everything is about God. And my father always said, let's always believe in you, God. Always. My mother, believe in God. My father would always say, with God's grace. My father used to say small shit like, you know, I have to go to the store, but with God's grace, God's grace, the store's open. It's right. Everything was about God. It said, the store is open. You got 5 hours left for the store. But I always believed in a higher power, but the Catholic school that I was 12 years Catholic school. Anybody? Catholic school?
Catholic school.
Catholic school. There was a lot of weird shit going on. Some of the priests were weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Something was like, there was real funky ass shit happening. And I was like, what? This isn't making sense. And my brother was an altar boy for a while, and he quit because there was some weird shit going on. I'm like, yeah. And you know the priest's office in a Catholic school is called a rectory. Okay? It's called a rectory. No, that's the priest in the back of the school. It's in the back. It's called a rectory.
Catch up, though.
I'm just gonna stay right there. Look up the word rectory. A rectory is in the back.
And that's what
of the school. I was like, yo, man, this ain't right here.
I gotta get out of here.
And any priest that decides not to ever marry is weird to me. You should be, I think a priest that gets married would be good. A marriage to I think that's what, to never get married, that's weird. And then that's why you start hearing all this weird stuff that happens. I go, it's not natural to never be with somebody. That's, you know what I mean? Right. All that, that's weird, man. I think balls are heavy, son. Listen.
No. I am trying to listen, but I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, man, and I've done this a lot. We've had a lot of shows, right? And normally I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're very.
How do I get them to go this way? And no matter what, it's like, I got one for you.
What?
You say Jason Statham always acts in movies.
Nah, wait, hold on. Let's finish this Catholic thing. I'm not, listen, I've gone to different churches. I've been invited to synagogues, mosques, all that. Regardless of the religion, we're all trying to, it's all one God, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, I like taking, even when I was Nation of Islam, I know a lot of people from Nation of Islam. I have friends that protect the minister. They come to my shows. But there's some things I don't agree with on their thing. There's some things I don't agree. My friends that are Arab, I go, that's cool. I don't agree with you on that. You know, because there's a lot of hypocrisy. Like in New York, you got a lot of Muslim cab drivers that won't pick up black people. I'm like, you're a Muslim, you know? You're a Muslim and you don't pick up black people. I think that's a little strange, you know? You have African Muslims that won't pick up black people. So you praying 5 times. That's a lot of praying for you not to pick up a black person. What are you doing going, don't pick up black people, I don't know.
I don't think that's a prayer you pray to Allah.
I'm just saying, but if you are a man of God, and God is not supposed to judge anyone, why are you driving past black people and not picking them up, sir? So there's a lot of
fear.
Fear of what? If you have Allah, you have God, Yahweh in your life, what are you afraid of? They say God gives me no fear, then why are you afraid of picking up a black person?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they all do that at all, no. But thank God Uber came, because Uber started taking money out of their pockets. So now I get followed by cabs. You look tired, brother. Your legs look tired, come. Now you want to pick me up, because the money got taken away. Yeah. Because it's all economics to me. All of this shit is all money. Religion is money. That's why I want to open up a church. Comedy. I want that real money.
They got private jets.
I want to be like Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes
with the jets.
You know what I'm saying? I want to have a private jet. And my congregation said, Pastor, I say, yes. I have a list. Yes.
Why you got a list?
I don't know. Yes. Why do you have a private jet? It's like, how am I supposed to talk to Jesus with all these people in commercial? No, Jesus wants to talk to me one-on-one, so I need that private jet.
I don't think you need a private jet to talk to Jesus.
Private jet gets you loose. But no, I want to go back to the Nigerian side, right?
Yes.
I know about jollof rice.
Yes.
Right, that's like one of the bigger dishes.
Oh yeah, that's
popular.
very popular.
But I want to know about pounded yams.
Pounded yam, yeah.
Because I like to pound some yams. But what is pounded
Wow.
yams?
That was awesome. I like it. I like pounding some yams. And I like that foo-foo. You feel me? I like that agoosie. So when I want to say it, I like pounding me some yams. I want to know. All right, Jim Brown. Remember that? I like pounding yams. But I want to know about the pounded yam, because I pound the motherfucking yam, and the foo-foo, I put the foo-foo. I love how you're using the wordplay. It's hilarious. You sound like an action hero from the 70s. Hey, man, yo, pounded yams. I like pounded yams. I want to know about your pounded yams. Shut your mouth.
No, but for real though.
He turned you in the shaft, too.
I know, right?
Freddie T, somewhere in there, you turned from a football player, you went to Jim Brown to the shaft. None of these people done anything past the 70s, but you're all those people.
I just
in
threw
one.
you like, I love pounded yams.
Yeah, no, but what is pounded yams though, for real?
It's mashed up yams. You pounded yams. It's like yams mashed up.
So you got to mash the yams.
You got to mash the yams, baby. You smash the yams, but you mashing the yams, right?
Y'all nasty.
You've eaten it, right? You've eaten the food?
I have.
Okay.
I thought you asked me if I ever ate some yams. I've had yams.
God damn, I eat some yams. Yeah. From behind, I eat the yams from behind. Why you keep going to the second?
What is wrong with you?
I like candy yams.
I candy yam, put the honey on the ass. That'd be candy yam. Shit, I be all up in that. You know me.
So you're gonna have to pray. So now we're talking about prayer. Excuse me.
You gotta stop him.
Nah, I'm going back to church. Now we gotta pray. Okay. You gotta go to church.
Okay.
And because you impersonate so many different people.
Yes.
So let's say you did something wild.
Yeah.
Probably was hanging out with Diddy too long. It's anybody.
Damn.
I'm saying something crazy. You gotta pray. Now you gotta get into heaven.
Yeah.
And whose voice would you use to try to convince God to let you in, like Denzel, Shay?
I like that.
Steve Harvey.
Maybe not Shay right now.
You ain't getting into heaven with what's going on now.
Oh,
No, you can't.
No, I'm
you can't
just
talk
because I've
Shannon's my
seen.
dude.
I mean, you did the show. I'm just saying.
no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying right
If I
now.
was Shannon, I'd be like, listen, Lord, I know there's a lot of things that, I've done that I'm ashamed of. But being in the NFL for as long as I have been, we have to skip all the things that we've been doing. So I just feel that nobody's perfect. And like my grandmama said, if you were told, you better come out the water. What? You ain't getting in, Shannon. No one understands what your grandmother says. He's like, you can't get in. Oh, come on, man. You gotta let me in. Come on, man. No, man. I thought you were gonna forgive me, Lord. I thought you were gonna forgive me.
Lakers in 5.
But Denzel got to be the smoothest, though, right?
I met him like 4 times, man. Because Denzel was. I met him during the training days. At a party, man. And he was cool. He's like, all right, so you a comedian, right? Yeah, all right. You got to put in the work. Got to put in the work. And he walks off. Like that's it. We were at something, but he spoke to me. He's like,
what about his run-in with the photographer though?
That was great.
So when you're Denzel, you obviously know there is a different sort of microscope on everything you do.
Yes.
Right? You think about the high visibility of the moment, the reaction.
Yeah.
As someone who is in that business, obviously he's in a different stratosphere from everyone. What does it say that he feels like in that moment that is the correct reaction?
Denzel is the greatest actor walking the planet. I model myself after a guy like himself because he can look back and look at all his body of work and go, yeah, I can go to sleep. There's some cats I admire, but there's some things I would be like, nah, I wouldn't do that. Nah, to get to here. Because there's certain things people want you to do as a black man to get to certain levels. And there's some I go, nah, I don't really like what he's doing to get there. Denzel is a good model for me, or Samuel Jackson, that he keeps his manhood, he keeps his black manhood, which is tough, and he's so good that, well, he should have 5 Oscars personally.
Yep.
Man on Fire, John Q, Malcolm X. I think they purposely limited him just to say, oh, well, this is all
he's been nominated every decade. I think he won supporting for Glory, though.
Yes, Glory, he got supportive actor.
And he was lead actor.
He did Stephen Biko. He did, man, he's old. I think they should do a back order Oscars ceremony. People we apologize to f***ing up. Like, yo, Denzel, we owe you like 3 more. You see Man on Fire, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
See what he's done with Equalizer? What are you talking about? Like, what? Oscar award winning in an action film. I mean, John Q, Hurricane, he got snubbed for Hurricane. But I think that the fact that he's at that level, he can check people. He can check people and say, no, you don't touch me like that. I'm not no f***ing clown. I love that shit. He's from money earning Mount Vernon. What are you talking about? I want that kind of feeling. And it might be a harder road, but if you're not built for the sucker shit, you're not built for sucker shit. I'm not built to be a clown. I'm like being silly. It's a different, but what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, have you turned down roles?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. But you regret turning down that role?
No. There's some roles I go, they be like, here, there's this role. This is their characteristic. I go, no, I'm not good with that. I'm not comfortable with that one. And I know people, some casting directors will ask, well, why? And I'll explain it to them. And they go, damn, I appreciate you telling me that. I go, yeah, I'd rather do this. Why can't I want to do that cool shit right there? Why can't I do that? I grew up, looking up to Jim Browns and the Richard Roundtrees, and I looked up to these Bruce Lee, who always fought for his rights, who always fought for civil rights. Bruce Lee tried to be a leading man, and they didn't like him because he was Chinese. You remember there was a show called Kung Fu back in the day. That was Bruce Lee's, he wrote that, Way of the Warrior. But they gave it to David Carradine, a white dude, and slanted his eyes. They were like, no, you can't be a lead because you're Chinese. So David Carradine took his story. Bruce Lee fought for Chinese respect. Bruce Lee, every black dude loves Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, these were my heroes. These were bad dudes that kept their manhood. That's me. Even though there's always a big controversy about would you put on a dress? Now, if Hollywood started off equally, where black people weren't wearing blackface and buffooning, maybe if you wore a dress, it would be an artistic thing, because there are actors that play women. Yeah. They do it in Japan. They have a theater in Japan called No.
Tyler Perry. He does it all the time.
But that's Tyler Perry, and I don't want to wear a dress. That's just me though. Anybody else that does it and does it well, that's their business. I don't know if it takes away from their manhood, but I know from the history I just go by the history of Hollywood. Sidney Poitier was where we had just a little bit of dignity. Yeah. First person to win an Oscar, other than just Hattie McDaniel, was first black woman to win an Oscar from Gone with the Wind, but she wasn't even allowed to eat dinner after she won. She had to wait in the kitchen. Understand? She had to wait in the kitchen when she won her Oscar, And Clark Gable came over to her and apologized and said, I'm sorry, because Clark Gable was black. He's black and Native American, but he passed as a white guy. You understand? They call him Dark Gable in the black community. That's facts. I'm just into history, and history is very important. When we're probably the one main race that is always told to move on. We're always told to move on. We have moved on. We've caught up to people when we were told it was illegal for black people to read, but we're beating you in education now. What are you talking about, move on? You're the ones we're beating you. Black women have the highest degrees in education, yes. But we weren't told to read. It was illegal for black people to read.
All of this knowledge, right? Because people say ignorance is bliss.
Right, it's true.
Ignorance is bliss.
It's true.
How much does having all of the knowledge of history weigh on you? Because if you didn't have this knowledge or you didn't have this connection to certain things, there may be a role that you could kill that could elevate your career you might do.
Very
right?
true.
But with having that knowledge and now that not sitting right in your heart, that not sitting right in your head, you're passing up on things that I'm sure agents or representation are like, hey man, you got to go do this. If you do this, now what you're filming on June 12th or whenever it is, there's going to be more people there. There's going to be a diverse group. Like how much does the knowledge sort of hold you back in some sense?
I don't think it does. I love knowing shit. I just like knowing it. James Baldwin said a conscious man is almost a doomed man. And it's too late. I've been like this since I was 17. Wow. I was reading a lot. I was like, let me just start reading this stuff. It was infuriating. Sometimes you're like, damn, when you look at, why is the wealth gap of black people? Why is it so far? How come black people don't own anything? Well, there's a book that a white man wrote called The Color of Law on why they purposely redlined black people from owning houses. It was in the law to not sell to African Americans. You see how they act now, how they depreciate when they're selling to black families. Where does this come from? It comes from here. Building highways in the middle of black neighborhoods so that black people couldn't build houses. This is all facts. Or they put black neighborhoods on toxic waste dumps, and then black people get cancer. This is happening. I need to know about this kind of shit. So if I go and buy a house, I go, I know it. Don't be up to. Yeah, but history is important. But the problem is our history is just whether it's African colonialism, is so atrocious that they don't want to hear that shit. Well, you shouldn't have acted like that. But how about this? Why don't you let it help you and don't be like that? So if you go to a doctor's office, what's the first thing they pull out when you come to the doctor's office? You sitting down. What do? What do they bring out? Your medical history. What do they make you fill out? Your medical history. They make you fill out, does your family have this? They write their pages of that shit because that's how they assess your health now. It's no different than anything else. When you guys were playing ball, what do they talk about? The announcers always talk about your past. Well, as you can see, last week he had a pulled hamstring, but now he's doing much better. They're talking about the past all the time. Last week he was 2 for 3. Now he has 5 RBI. It's always the past. That's how you assess what's going on now. All you guys talk about sports, you're talking about past shit. You go, he was there, he was recruited there, then he got traded. But when it comes to us, we're the only people they go, just move on. No, we're moving on. We're actually moving on. Motherfuckers are owning businesses, even though you barely give anybody loans. People are moving. Black people are moving on. You're the ones in the old adage of we can't do shit. You're the ones that haven't moved on because you still think we're not human. I'm not saying every white person's like that because it's not true. Because if you look online, there are white people spitting knowledge about African-American history. There's a lot of allies, for real. But in the consensus of you're still calling people names online. You're still monkey noises and just dumb shit like that. That's old. You haven't moved on.
Yeah.
You haven't. Because the racial, you got young kids using racial slurs. You haven't moved on because you're teaching your kids this old adage bullshit. You understand? I would love to go on stage one day and do some racial shit and people go, hey man, we don't do that anymore. Oh, great. So my shit is antiquated. This is great. But racism is so, my nephews experienced that shit. You feel me?
How do we really move the bar though?
We just keep doing what we're doing.
We understand, we know, and marginalized, and we know about the
We
red
know all
line.
that,
Things you're talking about, we know about all that stuff. But how, like, do we really move the bar? Because you're extremely passionate about it.
Yeah.
And you really speak on it, you know, I won't say daily, but weekly. Like, we, you know,
With humor.
You speak about it with humor, but are we moving the bar? Are we making any change?
I think so. Well, there's a lot of comics that still do old ass shit, old jokes. They haven't moved on. They even their racial jokes are not updated. Sometimes I tell people, update your racism, man. Update it. You can be racist, but update it. Be smarter.
Stop talking about watermelon. We already understand.
Yeah, watermelon. First of all, white people eat more watermelon than we do. So, you know what I mean? What the fuck we talking about?
It's actually just a tasty fruit.
It's
though.
delicious.
Yeah.
You can't tell me fried
but the
chicken
thing
is
is,
the best way to
refreshing.
eat a chicken.
But fried chicken, but watermelon was grown. Well, it was a delicacy, and then white folks started eating it again. Like, we want that too. But then they clowned black people, as in that's all we ate while they were eating it. Like, they compare us to, oh, you guys love chicken. I go, you eat more chicken than us. There are more whites in America.
They definitely keep KFC open because
Right.
I'm a Popeyes guy. Hey, I'm a Popeyes guy.
Y'all can't put no salt or nothing on this goddamn chicken.
But fried chicken, look who's making chicken now. Korean fried chicken.
Very good.
Because the soldiers in Korea, the black soldiers taught them how to fry chicken. That's where it comes from. But everybody's eating that. But see, they make fun of us first, they wait, and then they start to copy. And then they go, you guys didn't invent it. You used to make fun of us. Lips, look at, they used to clown this shit. Now, white girls look like Donald Duck now. Out of here.
Let me tell you what, this is gonna be a great show for the 10 of us to know happen. Hey, they gonna be like, hey, Carl gonna hit us up one day and be like, man, you remember that show y'all did with Guy from?
Wait,
Like,
is this canceled? Am I gonna
I'm gonna be like, it's up. It's just nobody can go to see.
I'm saying all of this shit that was made fun of. I mean, they used to make fun of us.
You know what?
Big lips, this, that, and now everybody's bonging their. They used to make fun of
I
it.
saw you do something cool about sinners. You were replying to a person who I don't talk about on this show, so I'm not gonna allow you to talk about it.
Okay.
But part of that movie that was extremely cool was some of the references throughout history that connected our culture to other people.
Yes.
Right? It wasn't a coincidence that the people that helped them were of Chinese descent, and the reason that was because that was part of the actual history.
That's right, it's real.
Of ours, right? And so when you watch something like Sinners that connects art to history in such a beautiful way, and then see some of the hate that it gets to oppose its greatness, what does that say about what still needs to change in even the Hollywood culture of understanding?
All it takes is you got to see us as human beings. Once you see people as humanity, you start to change. It's like, I like to compare it to rats. Like when you see a rat, you're like, holy shit, a rat. But I know people who have pet rats and go, oh my God. They see it as an animal. It's an animal. It's all it is an animal. You see it as a rodent. So you don't give a shit what happens to it. You're like, man, I'll kill that shit. That's how some people see us. They just don't see us as human beings. You know, we were 3/5 human in the Constitution.
Yeah.
So think about that. When people see you as that, they don't give a what happens to you. They don't care what happens to a George Floyd. They don't care what happens to a black woman being beat up by a grown man or a black child. But when you see the human, because most of the times we see humanity in people. Like, you know, I've seen, you know, plenty of times where you see somebody getting abused. It could be a white woman getting abused. We'd be like, yo, chill, man, what you doing? Because we see people as human beings. We just see people as good people. It's just when you fuck up, we go, yo. You know, so with Sinners, to me, because Ben Stiller stood up
He did.
for They
It was
tried
the headline. It was the headline. They tried to talk about the money it cost to make the movie as opposed to the
they
first
were like,
weekend.
it's not really making enough. But then there was a movie that had a mainly white cast that they lied about, said it was doing well. It wasn't. But they went and tried to shit on Coogler's movie. And Ben Stiller said, why would you do that? Mm-hmm. And I love that about Ben Stiller. I was in Zoolander. I was in his first film, absolutely. Zoolander. And he was like, why would you do that to them? I love that. See, there are good people in every race. And I'm not trying to say this to appease. I'm not trying to do no Al Sharpton shit. I love Al, but I'm not trying to go, everybody has a chance. No. I'm saying this, it's the truth. I know people who look different than us that are good people, man. You know what I mean? And you're doing that because you don't think, and this is facts, they don't think black people sell in movies. They just don't think we do. Internationally, how? Afrobeat is the #1 music genre. Hip hop is #1. Everybody, and I've been to a lot of countries, they do black shit. Lithuania, I've been to Russia performing. I've been to Turkey, black shit everywhere. I go, wow, look at that. Celebrating black culture. It's, especially in America, it's the Americans, the American mentality thinking we ain't shit, because they know our shit is dope. Look at sports, please. Please. There was a time they didn't want us in football. They had a black football league for about 7 years. I think Hank Pollard, who went to my high school in Chicago, was one of the first African-American coaches in the NFL.
Now they have the Fritz Pollard Alliance.
Fritz Pollard. He went to my high school, Lane Tech High School in Chicago. You understand? The Negro League baseball. This is what time, the reason why they integrated baseball was because the Negro Leagues was better. So they had to shut it down by integrating. That's why they picked Jackie Robinson. They were like, let's get Jackie Robinson. We were in baseball in 1884. It was Welber and Moses Walker. That's the first blacks. And then we were banned from baseball for 60 years. Then in 1947, it was Jackie Robinson. I go to the Negro League Baseball Museum every year when I go to Kansas City. That's all, I just go and read it. But look at what we do, look at what sports. Imagine if sports, look at the next level. I remember talking to Michael Jordan's agent. I'm friends with him, I know him for years. He used to come see my comedy shows in New York, and he was telling me about the story of when we first were trying to sell Michael Jordan to sell sneakers. He goes, you know, I remember when we were trying to pitch Michael Jordan for a sneaker deal. Yeah, and they were like, black guys can't sell sneakers. He's telling me, he goes, black guys can't sell sneakers. And he goes, no, let's take a chance on the guy. I think he's gonna, this is what they thought. We couldn't sell sneakers. And he goes, thank God that they took a chance, because look at, ain't nobody wearing no white dude sneakers. You got any Lewinsky's on? You wearing Lewinsky's?
Where the birds at?
Where the birds? And I love Larry Bird, but nobody wearing it. White kids ain't. Man, if the league because they're trying to bring back a segregation ban, you know, because, you know, whoever wants to bring back segregation. I said, I don't mind. If you want segregation, cool. But it has to be segregated and equal. So we get all of our things back. You can't have any of our stuff. You gotta have yours. Not separate but equal. If you can't be separate then come burn our towns. No, you gotta stay over there and we stay over here. No, all right? And by the way, we're taking our athletes with us. Even white dudes be like, nah, we can't have that. Nah, we need speed. Since we're so supreme, let's do that. And all of our music has to come to us. So you'll be sitting in silence. You can't, because it's all black invented. I'm just telling, if you really are about the segregation, and if we had segregated water fountains, how much fun would that be now? Because I would rub it in their ass. I'd be like, it's good, it tastes good. And they'd be like, let me taste that. Hey.
This is what I wanted you to do, because I saw you do it, though. What would Ryan...
I wanted to say about the film thing, about Sinners. Yeah. First of all, shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I know, good dude. Ryan Coogler, good man. Black people sell, because when I brought up Shaft, by the way, Gordon Parks, remember Gordon Parks, the famous photographer Gordon Parks from Harlem Renaissance? Gordon Parks is the one that produced and directed Shaft, okay? Shaft saved, I think it was Warner Brothers, saved Warner Brothers from bankruptcy because they were going bankrupt, and Shaft was $500,000 budget. They made $12 million.
Wow.
Richard Roundtree saved Warner Brothers. My friend used to work for Stan Lee, who created Marvel. I met Stan Lee 3 times, hanging out with Stan Lee in his office on Santa Monica in LA. He was at Power Entertainment when he left Marvel. I'm sitting there talking to Stanley. He's 89 years old. Now you think about it, as a kid, I'm talking to the man who created Spider-Man. And he's like, Godfrey, I want to show you something about Spider-Man. He's telling me everything. I'm listening to this dude. Like, I can't believe I'm talking to Stanley. He goes, I want to show you. Yeah, you see, he had a big picture of Wesley Snipes, Blade. He goes, yeah, Wesley Snipes, I tell you, Wesley Snipes. Wesley saved Marvel. We were going bankrupt. If it weren't for Wesley Snipes in 1999, we would have been in bankruptcy. Black person saving, again, a company. Black people sell. You look at In Living Color, saved Fox. The halftime, remember the halftime celebration? Who saved it? Michael Jackson saved it. That shit was going down. Empire saved Fox again. Empire with
Taraji P. Henson. Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard saved Fox. WB, black people saved it. Stars, black people saved it. Black people sell. It's just this old adage of hatred and not wanting, and this fear of other people's success. They gotta get over it. We're all good, man. If people think if we get into a certain power, we're gonna act the same way you did. We're not like that. We just want everybody to, because when people say, oh, you want to be white. I never wanted to be white, partner. Never did. I like myself. You just don't like my existence. I've never wanted to be. And if I were white, I'd be a white guy, okay. But we don't hate being what we are. Look at us when we're by ourselves, autonomous by ourselves. You look at us and you're like, look at all that noise over there. They're just making all that damn noise. Whenever we're happy and autonomous, people got a problem with it because they ain't part of our shit. So what do? They make fun from insecurity. Why don't you just come and join us and act like a human being, then yell at us and do all this other shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like when you move into a neighborhood. It's like, oh, there's blacks moving in the neighborhood. I'm sorry. You move into a neighborhood on land you stole? What are you talking about?
Do you think...
I want America to be great again. Well, then let the Native Americans come back. I'm just saying, if we're really trying to break shit, that's what happens.
You mentioned social media before. I saw in an interview, changing comedy.
Yeah.
Right? Given
Yes,
it has. It used to be the way you said you had to come up. I had to go, I'm with Bernie Mac here. I'm working
you're
like,
just busting ass.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different now.
Internet, no
it's different now.
Yes.
You can get on social media and you can build this brand, right?
Yes,
you can sort of build a career. How should, or how even do you as a comedian choose what to speak on, what to be a part of, what part of your comedy, even from your shows, you share? Because social media gives people a lot of you, more of you than they actually may see at your show, or for the people who don't see your show.
Because everybody's gonna have their thing. There's some people who will be like telling you the news in a shower cap. You know, everybody has their little thing. Yo, what's up? Or somebody use a sock puppet or whatever. I said, I'm just gonna be authentically me because what I did was, which a lot of cats from my era, they saw social media as like, I ain't doing that shit. And then I kind of got off my ass and said, yo, it's the winds are changing, man. We gotta get on this shit. Because there are people who are super famous off of social media they're not real comedians. They didn't put the hours in. One thing about live performance, you can't skip that. This is like the first time where you can put the cart before the horse. You can build a following in your living room, right? Have millions of followers. Then you go, you know what? I'm real funny on camera. I'm gonna book me a comedy club. Then they go to a comedy club and people come in like, all right, we're in real time now. Now you gotta show us what you got. And they go, what, this motherfucker ain't no real comedian? That's the only detriment. The people that get famous and didn't put the stage time in, they have to make sure, because it's gonna catch up to you. Because once they go around and see you once and you fuck up, they gonna come back and go, oh, he ain't shit, or she ain't shit. So the good thing about me and guys from we have the stage time. We have the knowledge and the seasoning. But the one thing a lot of us don't do is we don't get on, because we think we're too good for that. I go, you have to. You got to be shameless. So I said, let me do something consistent that matches who I am. Because I don't want people come to my show go, damn, he talking about race. I go, no, I do that on Instagram. I go in.
It's a few ways to jokingly talk about race
Of course.
in a positive light.
Very
I mean,
much
Channing, he's mixed. He has a white mom and a black dad.
Okay.
He just recently lost his dad.
Sorry about
but
that.
he also does stand up. He's tried
okay,
it.
cool. You crazy
and
enough.
he was hoping his dad left
You crazy
him
enough.
his slug, but.
What the hell?
Damn, Fred.
What the Fred? What
Fred,
the hell
you've been
just
talking
happened?
yams.
Why is it- why the fuck
Just
I'm just trying to. We
I got a
doing
joke.
a light.
My dad
Go
is
ahead.
he's a big ass black dude. He was,
Word,
he just
word,
passed.
word.
6'4",
Yeah,
270,
boom, boom.
big.
Right.
And my mom's a white woman.
Right.
And so when I was young and saw my dad getting out the shower, I thought my dick would grow into what he had.
Right.
And it never
Wow.
it never ended up maturing.
Wow. So you got everything from your mom.
So I got my mama's
So you got
which
your mama's
is a funny
shit.
phrase.
Your shit said,
So yeah, and we got that. But even that,
I was
like
just
you be
trying
you,
to
bro,
say
you
the
be
world can be better when we combine races.
But
and
you'll
all
be in the club
together.
and I've done a number of shows.
Yeah.
And you tell the joke, it hits, but then you see the white dude in the back mad looking at you.
man, why is he mad though?
Because he got his mama's too, but his mom and dad's white.
And that's what you do when you see the white dude be mad. Like, you mad because you got your mama's dick. Right? I understand. See, that's when
That's how you bring 'em
but
in.
That's you
That's
bring
how
him
you
in,
bring
go,
'em
yo,
into you.
dog, I'm a black man, but I get it. I got
get
that
it.
part too.
But
That's
no,
how you.
I wanted to ask, talking about comedy though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask, man, like, I played Freddie, I played against Ryan. Ball players, like, we compete,
Yeah.
but when I see Freddie walking through the airport, he we both Gators. I see Ryan and that, like, we cool.
Of course.
What's up with this
Comedy.
damn comedian beef shit, man? Like, it doesn't seem like it should be
It's stupid,
nasty.
man.
Why?
It's dumb.
Why is
Listen.
comedy nasty?
Amongst us, not
Why
amongst
is
the
it
white boys
nasty?
and the other people. Like, I mean, listen, everybody has rivalries, but we're the most vocal about it in public, which is stupid. It's like, I mean, I've been in a couple of them, but I'm not even a confrontational dude like that. Why are you choosing me to? It's f***ed up, and and I'm gonna say this on this show. A lot of us don't stick together, which is f***ed up. You got some comics, and these are not all. Some comedians that will literally not tell you about certain jobs. They don't want you to have them. We do this to each other, but this is historical shit. You know, there's that whole one Negro at a time rule where they let one Negro get famous so you can be mad at this one guy and they pit us against each other. They do this shit on purpose. But we don't have to do that. We can create our own shit. You know, there's plenty of comedians in positions. Like Kevin is my boy. Kevin Hart, he lets all his boys eat, man. His whole crew are millionaires. Joey Wells and all those dudes. I love that. That's what you're supposed to do. He don't owe everybody everything, which is crazy. He lets his crew, his writers, Harry, his writers, they all getting money. Yep. Rick Ross said it best. How in the world am I gonna be around some dudes and not make them any money? I'm making all the money and they ain't, that's bullshit. But they work for it. They work hard for it. They write, they perform, they look out. That's how you're supposed to do it. Regardless of what you think about Kevin, that got his crew eating. That's how you need to do. We should have groups of us. You got Adam Sandler takes care of his boys. Stiller takes care of his boys. Judd Apatow. I see them. They take care of their dudes, man. And you should be taking care of them, not on some subservient shit. Let them rise. Why are you? But
Especially if they're working.
They're working. A lot of us don't want to. I'll give you enough. No, teach that man to fish. Don't give him a fish. Teach him how to fucking fish.
But you mentioned being public, though. Why wouldn't, like, if you're an up-and-coming comedian and you see Cat Williams go on this show and talk about all the other comedians of our culture and really call them out, almost say, in some ways, their success is fraudulent or stolen or taken from them. And then you see, even in doing that, though, he blows up, right? He's back in the public eye.
Yeah.
It almost makes it seem like that's the way to do it.
Yeah, but Cat is special, man. Cat is special, man. And what if Cat is telling the truth? Cat is a superstar. That's real talk.
Yeah.
I'm a Cat fan.
And he's very intelligent.
And supremely intelligent. And when he talks, you can't help but listen, even if he's lying. I know there's niggas on Mars. I'll be like, yup. I've been to Mars. I know Mars. I'll be like, I believe he has that preacher power, that influencer power. And I believe a lot of things he's saying is the truth. I'm not gonna pick at what I believe, but he's a famous dude. I mean, my first time meeting Cat, I met him twice. The Flavor Flav roast, and one day we were at a post-Oscar parties. I see Cat. He goes, you want to go in this party? Blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah. He brings me in this party. Walks right in. Everybody knows him. He introduced me to Martin Landau, who's not around anymore, very, very famous actor. They go, hey, Cat, how are you? I go, that's one of my mom's favorite actors. God damn. He knew Cat. He's like, how you doing, Mr. Landau? This is God. He's introduced me to all these superstars. Then there's some jazz playing, a jazz piano player. I said, oh, this jazz is good. And I didn't know it was Jeff Goldblum playing jazz piano. You know Jeff Goldblum?
I do.
He plays jazz piano. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, he goes, how you doing, Mr. Goldblum? And he goes, hey, Cat, how are you, man? I was like, this dude is he's that influential. That was the last time I saw. Cat's a magical creature to me. He just disappears. I never see him again.
You just mentioned all of those people.
Yeah, Cat knew all of them.
Who was a person you met and had sort of a perception of, and even in meeting you, they blew you away?
Meeting Jason Statham, fantastic dude. He was awesome. Like, I'm happy that he was awesome. Because I don't want somebody being shitty to me, because I might say something. He'd be like,
the transporter, the beekeeper,
yeah.
What is he now?
He's
the
a
working man.
The
working man.
But he's a mechanic, but he's transporter, he's a mechanic, he's a beekeeper, he had a bank job, he was a bank robber, and so he always has a job.
Listen, but is he a good actor? Because he's the same person every
I like
movie.
that though. I like Ice-T, that's why I love Ice-T. He's just Ice-T. Ice-T don't change. He'd be like, yo, I heard they got killed the other day. Yo. You like beating up little kids, you're gonna go to jail. I love that.
I like what you said.
I like that Ice-T is just himself. I don't want him to change.
What you said about Jason when he always states his job though?
Yeah, he goes, I forgot to tell you, I'm the transporter. I'm like, well, yeah, that's the movie. He's like, wait,
I just watched The Working Man.
And he's like, I'm a working man. That's what I do. I want him to be like a barista at Starbucks. He likes to take jobs where he can whoop somebody's ass. Right. He's like, I called your name. You had the latte. He's like, what do you do? I'm a barista.
But you just said you need to walk away.
But those dudes make money like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Stupid money.
He made billions of it. Get out of it, get out of it. That's all he did. Even when he was kindergarten cop, it's not a tumor. He should have just named all his movies. And he made...
Not a policeman, I'm a princess.
What is this? I remember there was a video of Arnold making fun of skinheads. He was making fun of all these skinhead groups. And did you ever see him do it? He was like, I want to tell you, you guys, what are you doing? You're spreading hate. You're not even the real thing. My father in Austria, that's the real Nazis. You're bullshit. Oh, I was dying. And you're like, why are you not even, that's not real, all this crap in your bald head. Shit was fantastic. But yeah, I like guys that are just the same. There's some people that are just what they are. But Denzel's the same way,
Always.
He's the same guy, but you believe him in that character. That's how good. De Niro, same way, but you believe it. That's how good when you can be yourself, but the character, because, if I'm a doctor, I'm still me. I'm a doctor. If I'm a football player, I'm still myself. If you're a dentist, you're still you. But that's how good Denzel. You see Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
And that's a remake from the original, Steve McQueen. And Denzel's just a cowboy, but he's still a cowboy. He's like, all right, so we're gonna ride this horse. Right?
In Macbeth, everybody had an accent.
But Denzel's like, to be or not to be. Why is thou wast here? Huh? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Thou must come there within betwixt thy loins.
And I gotta push back, because Gladiator 2 Ain't no way that black man just walking up like Denzel was. But he didn't have a script in Gladiator 2. Y'all seen Gladiator 2?
I didn't see it yet.
Bro, it's Denzel
It's
just
just
chilling.
Denzel being Denzel in BC.
Just chilling, DC.
You know, I am your king. I am your king. Huh? I'm your king. I'm always going to be your king. Huh?
I did see him in Othello, though. He was absolutely phenomenal.
He's unreal.
Because it was, you're watching him
Yeah.
in that without, like, any special effects, without any
Nothing.
cool cameras.
Bare
He's
bones.
just standing
Yeah.
in front of you. And it's in Shakespearean or
Yeah, I
whatever you
saw him
call
in
it.
Julius Caesar.
Okay.
He did a modern Julius Caesar with that brother Anon from Chicago PD. He was amazing. It was like, but Denzel was still Denzel. But why is thouest? You know, I was like, he's doing the
Have you
same.
ever seen-
To
so
be
there's
or
a-
not to be? Huh?
There's a thing on
Yeah.
Instagram. There's a thing on Instagram, and it's people who do Denzel impersonations, and they're all different ones, right?
I know the guy who does the best Denzel. This dude named C. King. C. King does the best, perfect Denzel. I was on Wildin' Out with him. Ain't nobody fucking with his. His Denzel is pitch perfect. Pitch perfect. C. King. He don't even look like, he's a big dude from New York City. His Denzel is perfect. And you know, you got Jay Farrow, you got my boy Dean Edward. Nah, this C. King, woo, good Lord. It's like my Steve Harvey. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's a hell of a show. It's a good show. Shit,
Why you
I
gotta do
host
your
a
lips
better
like
show.
that,
That's
though?
his lips right there. You know what you done did, Ryan? I like your show, but it ain't better than my show. What? Where? And why?
That is crazy.
And Steve can't stand me. He didn't even invite me to no celebrity nothing. He don't want me on that family. He brought another impersonator who's not even impersonating him. He ain't gonna bring. I know he texted me one time. He sent me a DM saying, "I'm gonna kick your ass, boy." That's all I saw was a You think your ass funny? I'm from Cleveland.
Hey, but
Your ass.
You got.
Oh, here we go.
Nah, it ain't nothing crazy.
Let's get back to the yang.
It's nothing crazy. I promise you. But no, just throughout the journey, because you've met some obviously amazing people.
Yes, I have.
Some very successful people, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you've landed to where you are now. We always ask our guests, what's their biggest pivot? Like that's that one moment you can look back on and say, without this happening to me or happening for me, I wouldn't be who I am.
I think my biggest pivot was just taking a chance to be a comedian, just doing it, you know? Because I wouldn't be, you know, we look at different levels of success. Some people say, man, you should be here, you should be. I go, man, I'm doing awesome, you know, compared to, I'm doing what I love to do. I wrote stuff on a napkin and it became real. I wrote stuff on a napkin that became famous. The stuff I used to do about my dad was huge. Like all around the world, they'd be like, oh, I was in Russia. They'd like, oh, please, do the thing about your father. I like, you know. I was in Russia doing stuff about my dad, but I wrote that on a napkin, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was in Lithuania, stuff about your father. I'm in, you know, in Saudi, and it's about your dad. I wrote it on a napkin. I made that come into fruition by taking a chance. You know, listen, there's levels in here. I feel I'm successful doing what I do. If I'm making a living doing what I do for 25 years, I'm doing fine just because you didn't get that. We got to stop worrying about other people's shit. That's another thing. And it's tough because people will compare you. They go, well, that's because you ain't. I go, I'm not that dude because that's not my name.
Right.
I'm Godfrey. I'm doing fine. You know what I mean? And I feel like another pivot for me was getting with social media, was going with technology, not getting out of my own way and going, you know what? It's given us a sense of individuality. It gives us a sense of, oh, you got to do the work. You can actually, you don't have a middleman anymore. Yeah. Like with your show. Your show is fantastic. That's why when I saw you, I was like, hell yeah, I want to do that shit. Because Ryan don't be playing, be like, you see, you be like this. See, what he said, you always look like you're about to knock a motherfucker out.
The hands in.
Remember his hands be like,
Really? So you in on it too?
no,
So
he
now
always be like, yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, hey. But I love it because, because the hands, you got the explanation hands when you want to kill him. See, the thing he did, I respect that. But what I didn't like, you see, That's when brothers is trying to stay from violence.
Hey,
you
now,
like this.
Now I'm gonna start talking like this on the show. Now every show I'm be like, yeah, well, what happened was.
No, that's why I loved your show, because I'm like, you're unapologetic, but you do things in a way where it's fair and palatable, but you mean what you say. See, there's a way to do it, like the way you do it. It's like with comedy. I'm not up there going, fuck white people. No, my fans I have a mixture of fans. And don't get it twisted. There are white fans that go, I love the shit you do, because the way you do it, you're not pounding us in the head with it. You're actually being creative, because I think it's not fair for me to go, yeah, white people are mean. Good night. That's bullshit.
Because not all of them.
Not at all, but be creative though. Like when I said about the banjo shit, people laugh like a motherfucker. And they go, but they're learning. I go, it's an African instrument. I'm just saying, get your own instrument. I'm not even telling you not to be racist, but just be fair and get a white instrument. Maybe a piccolo, I don't know. The Negroes are coming. But don't use a banjo that's an African instrument.
Hey, what was old boy that said the British are coming back in the day?
The British are coming. Yeah, the British are coming. The British are coming. Oh, you know, it's like, I say, hey, like the symbol of like I even talk about the swastika symbol. I go, yo, that's a Buddhist symbol. The original one is Buddhist symbol, but they turned it and to make it white supremacist. Go, that's brown people shit. Use your own symbol. Be a racist, but use your own shit. I'm trying to teach you how to be a good racist. I want you to be good at it, okay?
There's books about being anti-racist. I don't think we need.
No, I want you to be good at it. You can't cheat.
If you're gonna be racist, excel.
You do good. Like the Fighting Irish symbol would be good. You guys know Notre Dame. That'd be a good white supremacist. Come on, you bastards. But I just think it's weird that the Fighting Irish is nothing but black dudes running out in a field. That's weird. See, I talk about shit like that. It's funny stuff.
It is.
That's what's about art. It's like when you go to see it, we go to a museum, and you see it'll be an exhibit on war or activism, and you'll see the paintings. Do you smack the painting off because you don't like it? You just go, okay. Oh, let me look over here. Okay, it's art. Comedy's an art form. It ain't a shit talking form. It's an art form. It's the hardest art form of all the arts. Think about it as art. And if you see somebody not doing it artistically, then you should be mad at them. But if you see somebody going, oh man, I like the way he did that. I like the way he did that. And a lot of times some white guys will go, man, you were towing the line, dude. But I like what you did, man. You were towing the line, man. You were going, ass cheeks were tight. But dude, yeah, that was fucking brilliant. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on, man.
How did you make that lady pooping on that man's car in traffic funny though?
But what I said, I'm gonna tell you some shit. It's gonna be some heavy shit. Yeah. Boy, you won't believe this shit. But that's
what I'm talking about. Like when you see. Do you see the world from that perspective, though? Right?
Yeah.
Are you trying to understand the funny or the comedy?
Always trying to. I'm a goofy man. If you saw my makeup of Friends, you'd be like, how is he? Motherfucker, I'm coming from love all the time. I think if you love somebody, you tell them the truth. If you love people, I love humanity. You all do. We all love humanity. I just want to set something straight. It's like when you had that thing with Aaron Rodgers. You was like, yo, man, I just want to set you straight. Don't get it up out here, but we can be cool. It's the same thing, dog. You just have a different platform. It's the same with me. I go, listen, man, I'm not, I remember bringing up something about Kaepernick. I was 45 minutes, I was in Kansas City, whatever. 45 minutes, I was doing jokes, great audience, brought up Kaepernick. Just brought him up. I was doing something about Kaepernick. This lady threw a glass at me at the wall. Pow! Because I brought up Kaepernick. Didn't even start the joke yet.
Wow.
But they hemmed her up. They choked her out, dragged her out of there, banned her. But you didn't even let me finish. Just that word made you mad. I go, but I'm not finished with it, though. I was going to talk. It was a good joke. And she just, some people just, it is what it is. But this is where I'm at. I'm doing 25 years of this shit plus. I'm not stopping. If you don't like me, you don't like me. It's okay. You understand? But I pack rooms out that fuck with me because I'm funny. I'm funny. And I'm like George Carlin. George Carlin spoke to power. A white dude from Harlem, Irish, told people to their face. That's my style. Richard Pryor said it in a different way. Him and Carlin were very similar. That's my lane. It is what Joan Rivers was very honest, who I loved her. She was a fan of mine. That's my shit. If you want to do puppeteering, that's your shit. I like what I do. I like being edgy. I like thought-provoking shit because I vibrate on that level. My father was an intellect. What am I gonna do? I'm around intellectual motherfuckers. Stop. It's like, this is what I do.
Well, your father also thought every kid had a knife.
Everybody. He'd be like, they will just stop you. Don't do it. I'm like, what? Because, you know, Chicago was a heavy gang-ridden, gangs were.
Hey, he said his dad thought everybody had a knife.
Everybody was. That's why, like, you see, I have one part. My father, he was only one line. You can't just be. You look like you. They'll just stop you because you're in a gang. I'm like, Dad, that's not. But I like that his paranoia was good. They would just shoot you with their gun. Everybody had a gun. They would just shoot, and the news, they don't shoot you.
Well, bro, listen, man.
I like that because it balanced out eventually, you know, it was good.
Well, I appreciate your time. Now, I'll be honest, I've watched other things with you.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't know how this would go. I think the education, the whys behind who you are, I think that's what makes our show beautiful.
Yeah.
That we actually get to learn about people. And, you know, we pounded yams and some other things today.
All right, man.
I could have talked about, you know, the year when Fred Hampton passed, Black Panther. I could have talked about a lot, but at that moment,
trying to be like.
I want to talk about pounding yams.
Fight the power. I just talk.
No, I thought it was, what I'm saying is, I thought it was
pounding yams.
I thought it was
yams.
But that was my point, though. Like, the thing about our show, we've done shows with everybody. He always talks about his favorite show being Caitlyn Jenner, right? Because
you like that show?
It was just
that reality show.
No. We had Caitlyn Jenner on the show.
Word?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah, Bruce on there. I mean, sorry.
we had Caitlyn Jenner.
We had Caitlyn Jenner on the
Pivot
show.
fam, thank you for pivoting with us. Jay, I was like, I'm not gonna let him get.
I got Clark hands.
Bruce still in there.